Baseball returns to the Brazos, and it returns to Baylor Lariat Radio. We welcome you into a Friday night game with Baylor taking on Incarnate Word out of Houston. And Foster, welcome into the broadcast again. Friday night, starting off this three-game set against the Cardinals. Bears have won three straight, 2 wins last weekend against Cincinnati. They got the midweek win this week as well, and they'll be taking on a red-hot Incarnate Word Cardinals team. Hi, everybody, and welcome back into Baylor Lariat Radio. I'm Joe Pratt, joined alongside Foster Nicholas. And Foster, we got a good weekend series heating up. As we talked about before the broadcast, maybe we were thinking Incarnate Word going into it. This could be a series where Baylor could continue a 3-game streak, but this is not a team that they should take lightly.
No, it's going to be a lot of work to get 3 wins, and this is the final 3 games of the second longest homestand of the season. You had 8 games at home, and you came away with a pretty nice record at this point, that being 2 games over the 500 mark, 3-2 in those 5 games. 3 more coming up this weekend. An opportunity to get as close to 500 as you've been at the midway mark under Mitch Thompson ever. You've got Incarnate Word now, Dallas Baptist, a very beatable opponent for your midweek next week, and then you got BYU, Kansas, and those are teams that are going to be tough, no doubt about it, but you could potentially be above 500 in 2 weeks for the first time under Mitch Thompson. He hasn't been above 500 since last year's first game of the year, the walk-off win to open the Mitch Thompson era. He hasn't done that, and this 3-game winning streak is kind of the beginning of a trajectory you expect to be the second best shot. Baylor in the middle of the Big 12 and a couple more wins, and that puts them near the top, and they certainly could use this non-conference weekend to regroup and figure out what's working well, what's not, and you can see that with a few lineup changes and obviously seeing the pitchers on the bump. Mason Marriott today get more work and push through.
That's right, and one guy who has made a massive improvement between last year and this year is a guy in Mason Marriott. Mitch Thompson talked about it earlier this week, saying how he is the best pitcher in this staff and the guy who has made the most progress in this staff too. So, to hear that from your head coach and to have the confidence that he has in him to be thrown out there in these Friday night games, Mason Marriott's got to feel that, and I think that you can see his confidence out there, and that's really improved his pitching, and it really shows in the way that he's pitched so far this season.
It boils down to control, really, for Marriott. If he fires that ball in the strike zone, he's one of the toughest pitchers to hit. The fastball will settle around the top of the zone, but then the breaking stuff, it looks like it's going to, the deceptive part, it looks like it's going to be at the top of the zone, and then it drops down like an ordinary breaking ball. But with the release point location, the deception has worked in his favor, as he is clearly leading this pitching staff and having the best year of his career.
Absolutely. Sitting, he has a great record, has a great numbers there. 34 innings pitched, has allowed 17 earned. That's so much better than compared to where we were at a year ago, and that strikeout to walk ratio stands out a lot as well at 37-17, a 4.46 ERA. And he'll be taking on Josh Salinas, another really strong arm for Incarnate Word, the Friday night man who has established himself as that. Another transfer on this roster for them, entering this weekend with a 1.59 ERA, 3-0 record, and 34 innings pitched, just 15 hits, 11 walks, and 35 Ks for Salinas. So this is a guy that the Bears are definitely going to need to get on quickly if they're going to try to do some damage in this game. How are they going to be able to do that, Foster?
Well, Salinas is a left-handed pitcher, and Baylor, while they've faced a couple of those, they haven't really had success against lefties. You look at the top of this lineup for Baylor, it's Apodaca, Johnson, and then Hunter Duplantis, a switch hitter, hits in that 4-hole. So of those top 4 bats, you got a couple of lefties and a guy who's not necessarily comfortable on that right side of the batter's box just yet. So it's going to be attacking him early, maybe taking some pitches. And I know that sounds contradictory, but Enzo Apodaca has done a really nice job of setting the tone. If Apodaca walks, you can usually tell what type of stuff the pitcher has that night, if he's got his control working or if not, because Enzo does a great job of, if it's in the strike zone first pitch, he'll swing away. Nothing is taken for granted, and he's going to be looking to do that today. Best hitter 5 games this year with reaching base 4 or more times. So I think you really look at that number 1 hitter and Enzo Apodaca to attack the left-handed hitter, and maybe some power. We've got some slight wind pushing towards center field in a pitcher-friendly ballpark, and this Incarnate Word team hits a lot of home runs, so if Baylor wants to keep up, the long ball could be boiling down to that point.
Absolutely, and The long ball is something that this team has improved upon this season. When you look at the 2023 year, another thing that Mitch Thompson has hit on, but this is an offensive team in Incarnate Word that may even be better than this starting pitcher, Josh Salinas. I mean, it blows you away, the top 7 in this lineup, Foster, and the fact that they've been able to put up just unbelievable amounts of runs at home, but when they go on the road, maybe some things cool down a bit for their bats. But, I mean, looking at this lineup, what scares you?
I think you kick it off with the one hitter in this lineup as well. It's Cam Cayley, the former Baylor Bear. Last year he was a starting pitcher for the Bears, didn't see a whole lot of time hitting, but the year before, if you remember, when Mitch Thompson was not here, he was your everyday outfielder, and he was hitting pretty well, hit for some power, also had some starts towards the end of that season, but his twin brother, Harrison Cayley, not playing today for the Bears. I'm sure there'll be a brotherly duel at some point this weekend, but he sets the tone, and he's second in the Southlands Conference in home runs with 6. He sets the tone for that lineup, and then you got the leader, Grant Randall is the 2-hitter, second in the SLC in triples, and then you got the doubles leader right after him, and it kind of just keeps on tailing with the first 5 batters hitting north of 300, and of those, 7 bats in that lineup hitting north of 300. I mean, it's going to be a lot of putting the ball in the strike zone, and Cayley also someone who is walking more than anyone in that Southlands Conference. So nothing's for free in this lineup. So I think for both teams, it's really attacking the strike zone and figuring out how you work with men on base, because there's not going to be a clean ball game. No one's going to throw a perfect game today or a no-hitter at this point. It's just going to be there's going to be a ton of base hits. It's Baylor Ballpark, but it's limiting the damage of home runs and extra base hits at that point.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned Hitters Park. Yeah, very warm today. Hot one at the ballpark. It's been hot all day today, and that wind in center field, or the flag in center field, is blowing straight away towards the river with the wind as the coaches congregate with the umpires around home plate right now, just talking some things over about the ballpark before we get underway and have the national anthem take place here in just a few moments. But before we take a quick break, let's take a look at the starting lineups today for these Baylor Bears and Incarnate Word Cardinals. Let's start with Incarnate Word, starting off with their lineup. Cameron Cayley gets the leadoff spot there, starting in center field, the senior making his return to the Baylor Ballpark. Batting after him is Grant Randall, the senior shortstop, batting second. Dalton Beck bats after him in the 3 spot, the designated hitter. Ryan Scott is in the 4 spot. He plays first base, followed by Tony DeJesus, plays second. Batting sixth is Rob Liddington. He plays right field. 7, 8, and 9 down in the order is J.D. Gregson, Daniel Calabrese, and Ryder Hernandez at catcher, left field, and at third base. Taking a look at the Baylor starting lineup, Enzo Apodaca leads things off for them, playing in right field. Ty Johnson in straightaway center. He bats second. Wesley Jordan, the designated hitter, bats third. Hunter Toplansky plays the hot corner at third and bats fourth. Daniel Altman gets his second start in a row in the 5 spot and plays second. Batting sixth is Cole Posey. He gets his first collegiate start at first base. Cortland Castle does the catching and bats seventh. Tyreek Kemp is the shortstop, bats eighth. Caleb Bergman, the left fielder, bats at 9. Starting pitchers today, I should say, Josh Salinas for Incarnate Word, left-hander, going against Mason Marriott, the junior right-handed pitcher for Baylor. So let's take a quick break for the national anthem, Foster, and we'll be right back for first pitch between Incarnate Word and Baylor. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today.
Hey Bears! Are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best?
It's Incarnate Word, it's Baylor, and it's all coming up right here on Baylor Lariat Radio with the Bears gathering right next to the third base bag, taking on the Incarnate Word Cardinals for the first time this season, the sixth time in program history in which the Bears hold that record strongly at 5 wins to no losses. Hi, everybody, and welcome back into Baylor Lariat Radio. Joe Pratt and Foster Nicholas with you as we are just a few moments away from first pitch at the Baylor Ballpark. As Incarnate Word waits at the first base dugout, looking into the sunshine on their first base post, wearing all red uniforms with black lettering UIW etched across the front, with white trim around those letters and black numbers on the back of their uniforms, with red helmets, all gray pants with a black stripe going down either side of it, black belts, and most of these players fashioning all black cleats as well. Baylor in their normal home whites, Friday night game with Mason Marriott towing the back of the rubber for the Bears. He'll be joined on the infield by Cole Posey at first. As mentioned earlier, he's playing his first collegiate game at first base, or at least getting his first start there at that, joined on the infield by Daniel Altman, a senior, playing second base. Hunter Toplansky plays at third, and Tyree Kemp in his normal position at short. Behind the dish, Cortland Castle catching Mason Marriott once again this season, a familiar battery mate for those two. As the outfield from left field to right, Caleb Bergman in left, Ty Johnson in center, Enzo Apodaca gets the start in right. Designated hitter for the Bears will be Wesley Jordan. And we're just a few moments away from the first pitch as the lights illuminate above the Baylor Ballpark. And a great night, Foster.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. I think what you need to look for specifically with Baylor defensively, first time Cole Posey has ever played first base in college. He has not done it before today, and he's in there because Mason Greer has been abysmal at the plate. He hasn't been able to find his stretch, hitting below 200. Will Pendergrass out for the year. Another one that just keeps stacking on to those injuries. Just the injury bug has bit Mitch Thompson in both 2 seasons. So it's Greer and Posey, who's been out there for a couple of games this year. Hasn't seen a whole lot of action. This is just his third start of this season, hitting .059 after being one of those reliable top 3 bats in the Baylor lineup last year. So look for him with a lot of glare over that left field line that's pinned right in his eyes of the first base bag. So look for Posey to try and find his stretch, because this is not going to be the most friendly game night to play first base for your first ever experience.
No, absolutely not. Sunny skies overhead, 81 degrees Fahrenheit with 13-mile-an-hour winds, 23-mile-per-hour gusts as the throwdown from Cortland Castle to Tyreek Kemp. We're about ready to go from the Baylor Ballpark with Cam Cayley stepping back in for his first at-bat, returning to the Baylor Ballpark after appearing in 75 games as a position player for the Bears. 48 games he appeared in as a pitcher, 123 games as a Baylor Bear. And here's his first one. Fashioning new colors at Incarnate Word. The first pitch from Mason Marriott gets a big swing from Cayley right over top of it, and he's ahead 0-1.
Well, not traditionally a power hitter with Baylor, but certainly putting up those numbers at Incarnate Word, swinging at a high fastball, and that's the pitch that he can hit out of the park.
0-1 pitch from Marriott is over the outer half. He's ahead 0-2. Cayley, a .343 hitter on the year, 27 games played. Hailing from the left side with the all-black bat waving above his left shoulder. He takes inside. It's ball 1. Marriott thought he might have had another strikeout on the season. Would have been his 38th, but it's 1-2.
Really limiting the walks, almost half of what he had last year at this time.
Here's the 1-2. Upstairs above the letters of Cayley, stays alive at 2-2. Cayley batted just .125 in 21 games his last year at Baylor. Through 49 innings as a pitcher, though. Really made his transition onto the mound, but now .340 hitter out here at Incarnate Word as he tags one foul straight back into the netting.
I think when you don't have those consistent at-bats day in, day out because you're preparing for starting outings, it can really hurt two-way players like Cayley, and with the transition back to the lineup every day, he's really thrived in that role.
Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball, he turns on it down the right field line past Cole Posey and into Enzo Apodaca's glove. A leadoff single for Cameron Cayley.
Well, I think one of the parts of having Posey at first that I didn't mention is his size. He's not a tall first baseman to have out there, and maybe if Greer was out there, he snags that one, but it eclipses the glove of Posey and just rolls into left field for a base hit.
That'll bring up Grant Randall. Right-handed bat and senior on this roster, hitting .311 on the year, has 28 hits, 24 driven in. And now here's Marriott working from the stretch, runner on first. The first pitch gets a swing and miss from Randall on a pitch that was in the dirt. So it looked like he went back to that breaking ball, Foster, you talked about in the pregame. What last year maybe didn't break as much now. It starts up in the zone, takes a dive down low. We saw it there. We see it again right here. He's ahead 0-2. 2 straight swing and misses. Cayley takes his lead at first. 2 stolen bases on the year. Marriott looks over at him. Now he comes set with the black glove above his green belt. And from the first base side of the rubber, he's ready with the 0-2 pitch. Takes a long pause before releasing it, though. Now he deals. Low and outside, not even close in the left-handed batter's box. Castle has to lean over to grab it. 1-2. Randall, a .311 hitter on the season, 27 games played as well. 26 starts as 90 ABs. .511 slugging percentage as well. That's something that's really common across the starting 5 and top 7 of this lineup for Incarnate Word, as the next pitch is low and outside again from Marriott. 2-2 to Randall. Four guys in this starting lineup with slugging percentages above .600, Foster. 2-2 pitch. Ties him up, line down the right field line, charging in Apodaca. It's going to land 3 feet to the right of the right field foul line, though, as Randall luckily stays alive for him there. That one barely creeps foul.
And although Randall isn't one of those guys with a slugging percentage north of .600, it's at .511, and I think that's generally the tone to him being second in the Southland Conference in triples, with 10 extra base hits on the year, 4 of which have been those 3-baggers.
Yeah, this is a team that in the first month of the season, they were amongst the top 5 teams in triples in all of D1 college baseball. Randall clearly leading that category as the next pitch is up and away, but it's called a strike 3. Breaking pitch from Mason Marriott catches the outer half. Randall didn't quite like the call. He's headed back to the first base dugout. 1 gone.
Working away from the right-handed hitter, and it just went in the favor of Marriott. He's been throwing those competitive pitches outside that just kept missing by a hair. Went back to it in this one. Found the outside corner, and that's the consistency that's worked in Marriott's favor so far this season.
Brings up Dalton Beck as Cayley goes. Castle's throw down to second. It bounces over the glove of Tyreek Kemp. Daniel Altman backing up in shallow center field was there. It was a pretty good throw from Cortland Castle off the hop. It's just a tough one to read if you're Tyreek Kemp out there at short. There'll be a lot of shadow trouble today casting across the infield. Sun will be setting to our left. About an hour and a half or so. But still some long shadows going across this infield as the 0-1 pitch to Dalton Beck misses low and inside.
Going back to the stolen base, that's a play that should have been made, whether that's the throw from Castle or the snag from Kemp. It was on time. It was pretty close to on target, in line with the base, just spiked in front of the grass.
1-1. Breaking ball barely beneath the knees of Beck. Marriott thought he had the call. Castle held it a little longer. They don't get it. It's 2-1. Yeah, that looked like a pretty straight shot from Castle right down to second. 2-1 pitch. Tagged down towards deep left field. Going back on it. Bergman looking up at the wall. It's gone. The 5th home run of the year for Dalton Beck opens the scoring for Incarnate Word in the top of the first inning. And the 2-run blast puts the Cardinals on top against Mason Marriott. A perfect way to start the game for them.
High fastball that's just sent the other way by Beck. We noticed how there were only 2 left-handed bats in this lineup, both of which in the top 3 of that lineup, and cleared the fence, didn't quite get to the soccer field out in left field where we see the beginnings of a match about 15 minutes away.
Marriott's first pitch to the new batter, Ryan Scott, misses up and away. It's 3 and 4 in the lineup. Dalton Beck entered the game hitting .418, now hitting .420 after that home run. Dalton Scott also above .400 at .402. Has to turn away from an up and inside fastball from Marriott, 2-0. Next pitch, 2-0 misses low and outside. Scott's ahead 3-0. Yeah, and Beck was another one of those guys with a slugging percentage above 600, nearing 700. 676 entering this game. Here's the 3-0 to Ryan Scott. That one misses low and outside. A 4-pitch walk after the home run. And this Incarnate offense is showing its teeth early in this one, Foster.
Yeah, Cortland Castle is going to have to go out there and chat with Marriott. It's not that the control or location is off necessarily. I think it's just kind of rattled confidence after giving up the home run. Doesn't want to fire one in the zone of Scott, who's sitting north of 400, and get burnt again. But this team that's been up there in home runs all year in the Southland Conference is definitely one of those non-conference foes that Baylor may have scheduled for a 3-game weekend series, saying, hey, this will be a challenge, but something we can do. And you're already seeing kind of the payoff there as the Bears behind early, and they'll have to face a pitcher who's very, very good with a lead already in front of him.
Yeah, but they still got 2 outs to get here in the top of the first as Marriott starts off Tony De Jesus with a turning breaking ball that finds the box. It's 0-1. Right-handed batter, a wide stance in the back of the batter's box. De Jesus rolls one towards short. Tyreek Kemp charging in, doesn't have a play at second. He throws on the run to first in time to get De Jesus as Ryan Scott moves into scoring position.
Nice play by Tyreek Kemp, and we've been talking a little bit game to game about his improvement defensively and just knowing the play. A soft hit ground ball and a couple of hops, you probably don't have that poise to turn to unless you're really, really on it. And he wasn't, so he just charges the ball, maybe checks second for a second, and then fires to first and makes the play.
The first pitch to Rob Liddington finds the lower half, 0-1. Good first pitch strike from Marriott. That's another thing that Mitch Thompson highlighted this week, saying that a lot of his pitchers, especially the young pitchers, are able to get that first pitch strike so huge for the confidence. And now Marriott's ahead 0-2. Dials in a fastball on the lower outside quadrant. That was his 24th pitch of the inning. Comes set, looks back at second. The flag in center field blowing straight away towards center as the 0-2 pitch misses outside, 1-2.
Back to that ground out. Also point out Cole Posey staring right into the sun, and he made his first ever play as a first baseman at the collegiate level.
Playing normal depth first base, big hole in the right side of the infield, 1-2. Rolled towards Kemp again, going to have to backhand and throw on the run. In time at first, Cole Posey receives it seamlessly as the Bears are able to escape the inning after giving up a 2-run homer to Dalton Beck as Incarnate Word grabs a 2-0 lead going into the bottom of the first inning. Bears coming up to the bat first on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all of the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
The Bears will have to play from behind 2-0 in the top of the first inning for Incarnate Word, and they send out their starting pitcher to the mound, Josh Salinas, to face the top of this batting lineup. Starting off with Enzo Apodaca as Josh Salinas enters to make another start on the season. It will be his 7th, fashioning a 1.59 ERA in 34 innings pitched, and the left-handed thrower will toe the rubber from the third base side, working primarily from the stretch. His first pitch to Apodaca is on the way, and it's in the zone for strike one on the fastball. Salinas, the Southland Conference Pitcher of the Week last week. That was announced on Monday, making his start on Friday night here. Hot off of that recognition as he gets a fastball over top on Apodaca again. It's 0-2.
Turned off the pitch gun out there on the scoreboard, so we'll be guessing on his speed, but he sits mid-90s, low to mid-90s on his fastball.
Lefty on lefty matchup. Apodaca drills one to straightaway center field, going back on it Cayley into the shadows, and on the warning track, he has out number one.
May also be something to note. Cayley's played center field at Baylor Ballpark, so he understands how much space there is, how much room there is to navigate. And I'm sure he told the rest of his teammates in the outfield, you got a lot more space than you think you do. Everything's pretty much going to hold up in this ballpark other than, I guess, a first-inning home run hit by Incarnate Word. Just understanding how much space he had, did a great job backing up to the warning track and making the play.
Here's Ty Johnson. First pitch he sees is a turning breaking ball that falls right in front of his knees. Could tell he flinched there at that one. He had that on a string, did Salinas. That's a really nice breaking ball. 4 straight strikes so far. Comes set with the glove at his belt. Here's the 0-1. Fastball on the lower outside half. Just misses, though, 1-1. Joined on the infield by Ryan Scott at first. Tony DeJesus plays second. The shortstop is Grant Randall. Third baseman Ryder Hernandez is playing even with the bag at third, 5 feet off the line. Ty Johnson awaits the 1-1. And the fastball's in there again. It's 1-2. Back-to-back two-strike counts drawn here by Josh Salinas. Throwing strikes is clearly something he does well. Just 11 walks on the season. Here comes the 1-2. Bounced in 3 feet in front of the plate. That one wasn't even close. So he's human.
Lost his grip on the breaking ball from what it looked like. Had his curveball grip, and it just looked like he spiked it, holding on to it a little bit too long.
He's fourth in all of D1 baseball in whip, walks, and hits per innings pitched. Here's the 2-2 to Johnson, swatted on the ground back to second. De Jesus has to backhand and throw on the run, and across his body makes a perfect throw on to first to get Ty Johnson by one step.
Johnson's made a living with infield hits this season. A couple of bunts, a couple of kind of soft hit ground balls. Hit that one a little bit harder up the middle, and just a better defensive play by De Jesus, just moving to his right backhand, and like you said, on the run. I think that's something both two of these teams have improved on. Tariq Kemp showed it off in the top half, and now De Jesus at second showing it off here.
With 2 outs, here's Wesley Jordan, 318 hitter on the year. First pitch from Salinas. He takes a big hack, fouls it straight back into the net. Looks like Jordan was eyeing a first pitch fastball. He got it. Took a big hack as that black bat rests on his right shoulder, lifts it up as here's the 0-1. Misses outside. Salinas is back to 1-1. Yeah, allows just 0.76 walks and hits per innings pitched. Comes set, looks at first, takes a deep breath, and he moves home. This one misses upstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike.
It's a good pitch to Jordan, though. He will chase at pitches high in the zone. Doesn't really chase at pitches that spike the dirt or are lower in that zone. So if Salinas misses to Jordan, he'll want to do it high.
Here's the 2-1. Jordan gets tied up and fouls it straight back off the middle of his bat.
I guess it's kind of a dangerous situation to miss to Jordan high because those are the pitches he hits for power, but he's more inclined to chase if it's at the numbers than near the toes.
He's got 3 home runs so far this year. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Misses up and away. Good at bat here, worked by Wesley Jordan. It's good to get that pitch count up for Salinas. Looked like he was cruising through. Just 7-8 pitches thrown to the first 2 batters he faced. Here's his 14th of the inning. Payoff pitch. Misses outside, ball 4. The entire Incarnate Word infield took a step towards their dugout. They thought they had strike 3 and the 3-up, 3-down bottom of the first. But Hunter Toplansky will step in. The Bears continue this frame. A runner on first with 2 gone.
Just like you had mentioned, a well-worked at bat. He falls behind with 2 strikes and then waits for a pitch to hit. I mean, so often you can just go into that contact mode, and Jordan understood that if it's not in this range, I'm not swinging.
Here's Toplansky. He takes that one off of his left knee. Not even close from Salinas. Looked like he lost the grip on that potential breaking ball again, Foster. Tough to tell, really, but Toplansky, 1 pitch in, and he gets doinked. He's on first.
Yeah, he launched his bat towards the dugout as well, almost just threw it like you'd throw a paper airplane with one hand and fires it towards the dugout before taking his base. I think we've seen that with this Baylor team in general. You work a walk, you get hit by a pitch, anything that's free, you show it up, and you let this other team know you'll take that, and you'll make them pay, and that's what Daniel Altman's looking to do.
Yeah, here is Daniel Altman from the left side, a lefty-on-lefty matchup. He swings at the first pitch he sees, a breaking ball that's down and out to him, a perfect pitch from Salinas. Breaking ball breaking away from the corner of the zone. Altman swung right over it. He's hitting a .324 clip on the season, 23 hits, 18 driven in, had 3 RBIs on Tuesday night. From the left side, he awaits. 0-1 pitch is in the dirt. Runners go back to where they're at. He was 0 for 3 going into a bases loaded at bat late in that game against Houston Christian on Tuesday night. Roped a bases clearing triple down into the right field corner. That was part of a 4-run 7th inning for the Bears as the next pitch is skied down the left field line and out of play. 1-2 to Altman.
First ever collegiate start in the 4 spot for Daniel Altman, a guy who had 1 home run, which came a series prior in his entire collegiate career. Got his start in the 4 hole, and he laughed about it a little bit in the postgame, saying, I'm not a power guy, and you saw that with that triple down the line.
He's behind 1-2. He takes up and away, 2-2. Now, he mentioned how great it is to have guys around him in the lineup who always seem to get on base. Since he's moved up in the lineup, adding behind guys like Wesley Jordan, Ty Johnson, Hunter Toplansky. Said it's really changed his mindset at the dish as the 2-2 pitch misses low and away. Good eye from Altman on the breaking ball. That was one that he swung and missed at on the first pitch in the at-bat. So good adjustment from Altman.
Yeah, went and leaned down for it. He's eyeing it straight out of the hand and not making up his mind until that pitch has almost cleared the infield grass and given about 4 or 5 feet in front of home plate. Will say, yeah, I'll swing at that.
Salinas comes set. The payoff pitch is going to have to wait. He takes a step back towards second. Of course, he's thinking that the runners on first and second, Toplansky and Jordan, will likely try to get a head start here with the count full. 2 gone in the inning as Salinas comes set again. Here's the 3-2. Runners go low and outside. Ball 4. 3 2-out base runners for the Bears in this bottom of the first. That brings up Cole Posey.
He only walked 11 heading into this ball game. He's walked 2 now and hit a batter with a pitch. Suddenly behind the ball in strike category, and it's not because he's necessarily missing the strike zone. It's just been a hair outside. Pitches he usually gets swings and misses at, and he hasn't got that. And Daniel Altman working the count, doing his job, and now he's got a massive lead at first, and I assume he'll be bouncing around to try and get in the head of Salinas as he faces Posey.
Here's Cole Posey, first pitch to him, a fastball above the knees, strike 1.
Now I'll pose this question to you, Joe. I saw him taking some swings as a left-handed hitter in the on-deck circle, and that's something I used to joke around and do in little leagues, try and throw him off, even though I know you don't do that, but the right-handed bat now up there with an advantageous count.
1-0. Fouled straight back into the screen. He saw that one well. Really seems like guys see the ball well when it's fouled straight back. An indication that he just barely missed it.
Yeah,
even from the left side.
Even
just
from
a little. The 0-2 awaits. Posey takes upstairs, a good eye. Not to chase after an 0-2 fastball from Josh Salinas. It's 1-2. He's now thrown 24 pitches in the first inning. It's pretty similar numbers for both of these starters so far. Marriott eclipsing that 25 pitch mark as well. Cole Posey with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Taken low and inside, nearly clipped him on the left leg. Nice job by the catcher J.D. Gregson to slide and forehand grab that one off the dirt. 2-2 the count to Cole Posey.
Yeah, not a lot of speed at the bases, but Wesley Jordan's a really heads-up base runner, smart about what's going on. So if it kicks away from Gregson, he's not afraid to take home.
Salinas comes set. Here's the 2-2 home. Posey sends a high fly ball out towards left field. Back on it, Calabrese. It's way out of here. A first-inning grand slam for Cole Posey, and the Bears retake control. It's 4-2. In just his 3rd start of the 2024 season, first collegiate start at first base, Foster, Cole Posey has himself a slam.
It's one way to guarantee yourself a little bit more play time, and that one did indeed find its way on the soccer field. A no-doubt home run from Cole Posey, and that's a way to get a little bit more play time, is go up there and take advantage of your at-bats, and he's someone who struggled with strikeouts so much last year, and with 2 strikes in the count, he's not trying to do too much, and he still finds the barrel on the baseball and clears the left field wall.
First pitch to Cortland Castle, he shows bunt, pulls it back, it's low and inside.
That was the first hit of the ball game for the Bears as well.
So something that Salinas had done so well entering this contest, not let too many batters get on by way of the walk, hit by pitch. He allows 3 with 2 outs as this one skied towards foul ground. Going over on it, Ryan Scott, the first baseman, just out of his reach into the camera well at the far end of that Incarnate Word dugout. 1-1 the count to Cortland Castle. Salinas with 2 walks and a hit by pitch with 2 outs in this frame after getting a quick out on Enzo Apodaca. 3 pitches to him, fly ball to center field, and then A few more to Ty Johnson, who grounded out to second. But this heart of the order clearly doing the damage. 254 on the season is Castle as he sends a high fly ball towards the parking lot, out of play. 1-2 the count to him. So Salinas will not be able to escape this first inning without throwing at least 30 pitches. 2 outs in the frame, of course. Flag in center field, blowing towards the river. Infield playing straight up, and the 1-2 pitch. Castle gets underneath a breaking pitch. It's on the infield grass. First baseman Scott ranges in, and he grabs it for out number 3, but not before the Bears make it a 4-2 game as Incarnate Word gets out of the inning, and they trail 4-2 as the Bears head back out onto the field for the top of the second frame. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Top of the second inning, Bears hold a 4-2 lead over Incarnate Word on the grand slam from Cole Posey with 2 outs in that bottom of the first inning. He gets his first home run of the season, first RBIs of the year. And Foster, we were actually talking pregame before we went on air about the Colorado Rockies game. You're obviously a Rockies fan, and maybe it's just a grand slam day for baseball.
It could be. I mean, a walk-off slam for my team, and then the other team that I kind of root for, hitting one out today. So if the bases are loaded again, we know what's happening.
Absolutely. Hopefully, maybe not for the guys in red, as they're at the plate right now, starting with 7-8-9, J.D. Gregson. First pitch from Mason Marriott misses low and outside on the breaking pitch, and it's 1-0 to Gregson. Hitting .311 on the season, 25 driven in. Fastball laced straight back over our right shoulders.
This is what I'd say would be the biggest difference between these two teams, is that bottom third of the order. Incarnate Word can produce runs down here while the Bears haven't been able to this season.
Gregson cuts through a fastball. He's behind 1-2. This guy's clearly one of them, too, as he goes down on strikes, swinging through another fastball, and Mason Marriott has his second of the afternoon.
It's going to be important to see how Marriott bounces back from that home run. Last year, if he gave up a home run, it kind of get into his head, and he wouldn't escape maybe 1 or 2 more innings. So looking for the difference in mentality this season, which has really helped him out.
Daniel Calabrese is the next batter. He bats 8th in the lineup, takes low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes to him. Next pitch, Mason Marriott working very quickly as the breaking ball misses above the zone. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, not a whole lot to think about when you're just moving quickly, and I think that's helped him too.
Here's the 1-1. Fastball, swinging a high fly ball down the right field line. Posey going back, but it's going to get out of play, bounce on the grassy berm that extends towards the visitors' dugout. Shadows continue to creep in. There's shadows in center field. That's because of the scoreboard casting across. So a deep fly ball into center sends one back into the shadows. That's what Apodaca did to lead off the bottom of the first. Cam Cayley made that play. Ty Johnson stands about 4 feet in front of those shadows. 1-2 pitch. Misses upstairs and outside. 2-2 to Calabrese. Good eye from him.
Something that Baylor's doing in this at-bat is scripting those first 3 pitches so that Marriott didn't have to work as hard.
2-2, hard hit on the ground towards short. Kemp is there, though. He's up with it, throws to first in time for out number 2. Another easy play from Kemp. Has been busy so far, 3 grounders.
Going back to that, I think it has helped Marriott. Like football, you script those first couple of drives. They've got those first 3 pitches. He knows what he's throwing when he steps on the rubber. Right now, he knows the first 3 pitches he'll throw to Hernandez and then attack that 4th pitch differently depending on the results of those first 3.
He's taking on the 9-man rider Hernandez, righty on right, and the breaking ball turns over the outer half, called strike 1.
That was a pitch that may have tailed outside the zone, but Marriott getting one to go his way, and no complaints.
Yeah, went upstairs with the breaking ball. It looked like a little bit, too. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball, gets a checked swing from Hernandez, and they'll check at first. He did go. 0-2 to Hernandez. He's down 0-2 with 2 gone in the frame. Marriott working from the windup, shakes off one sign, shakes off another. Now he goes into his delivery. 0-2 home. Breaking ball, laced straight back, bounces off the screen, and that'll get out of play. So that time he shakes off a few signs, maybe wanting to go back to that hook to get Hernandez swinging. 0-2 pitch, goes back to the fastball, misses upstairs. 1-2 the count to Hernandez. The umpire at first making that call. Shaler Smith on the infield. Durantes and John Wolf. They're at second. Next pitch, too high. Hernandez continuing to stay alive, working a pretty good at-bat. 2-2 the count. Infield playing straight up, as is the outfield. Here it comes. Cut on and miss, strike 3. Marriott gets through the bottom half of this order and the top of the second inning seamlessly with 2 Ks. 3 up, 3 down. Incarnate Word goes in the top half of the second. We go to the bottom of the second. Bears leading 4-2. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Tyreek Kemp will lead off for the Bears in the bottom of the second inning. Bears leading at 4-2. Thanks to the homer from Cole Posey, a grand slam for him. And that proves to be still intact after a scoreless top of the second frame. 3 up, 3 down went the Cardinals, and now the Bears back in the box. Tyreek Kemp leads off. Number 8 man in the lineup lays down a bunt straight back to Salinas. 3 hops into his glove. He runs to first, underhand toss there. And Tyreek Kemp is the first out of the bottom of the second. So just trying to catch that infield off guard, but likely didn't mean to bounce it straight back to the pitcher.
Back to Cole Posey. This is his first start since the Texas series on March 23rd. Got to start on the Saturday ball game, so it's been about 2 weeks since the last time he was in the lineup, and already making the pitchers pay.
Caleb Bergman bats next. He takes low and inside, one that was pulled by Salinas. Fastball misses. It's 1-0 to Bergman, batting .267 on the season. 4 hits on the year with 1 driven in. As he bats from the right side with a narrow batting stance, the 1-1 pitch, he takes a fastball right down the pipe. It's 1-1. is pretty unfamiliar territory for Josh Salinas. Really pitched well so far this season. 3-0 record. Entered the game with an ERA as this one's lined into right field. Going to take a few hops into the glove of Rob Liddington. Caleb Bergman has himself a single. But more on Salinas, that ERA elevating by 1 run after that home run.
Well, there's an inside joke. Caleb Bergman just does what he does, and he does it well. When he's at the bottom of the lineup, he makes things happen, whether it be a bunt hit, a stolen base. It's the grittiest player you'll find, and now he's got a batting average north of 300.
It was up to 375 a few weeks ago. Got his first extra base hit on the season in a midweek game. As Salinas will check back at first, sends a bullet over to his first baseman, Ryan Scott. Bergman can be a stolen base threat. He's 2 for 2 on the season. Got a short lead there. As Salinas goes home, Apodaca swings at the first pitch he sees, trails it foul towards the left side. See if the shadows continue to play a factor. Sun creeping down over the clouds to our left. Some wisping clouds above head. Mostly blue skies, though. Lights faintly on above the ballpark as Salinas is ready as the next pitch is hammered down towards right center field. The right fielder Liddington going back, looking up. That ball is gone. Back-to-back innings with a bomb, and Enzo Apodaca makes it a 6-2 ball game.
Where has his power been all year? My goodness. Apodaca, he was running with the bat up the first base line. It was either a fly out or a big fly. It was a big fly, so he tossed that bat. By the time he was halfway down the first base bag, he knew it off the bat. He just didn't want to get tentative, and that ball clears the 375 marker in right center field. What a shot by Apodaca, taking a pitch high in the zone and sending it right back where it came from.
His 3rd home run of the season. And now the Bears lead it by 4. Ty Johnson shows bunt, quickly spins away from a fastball that was in off his hands. That was the 37th pitch from Josh Salinas. Has steered the ship more forward in terms of strikes to balls ratio, but still that ERA continues to climb. And now after the next pitch misses, a 2-0 count now to Ty Johnson. Head coach Ryan Schatzberger is out of that first base dugout.
All right, I don't know if you've researched this, Joe, but off the top of your head, how many home runs do you think Salinas has given up this season?
1.
He has given up 1 home run coming into today, and within 5 batters, Baylor's flipped that all the way around. His ERA is currently sitting, after those 2 home runs, at 3.06. That pumps him from the best in the Southlands Conference at 1.59 to 3rd in the conference. So, I mean, that's after 2 home runs and 6 runs against in 2 innings, or rather 1 1/3. He's still a top 3 pitcher in the Southlands Conference, just to put into perspective how dominant he's been this season. And Baylor has seen him very, very well aside from those first 2 at-bats, work the walks, find the power, and already have 3 hits on the day.
The mound visit concludes, and the 2-0 pitch to Ty Johnson. He gets over top, 2-1. Johnson, his first time up last inning, worked a pretty decent count and then grounded out towards second. A really nice play made by Tony DeJesus, one that a lot of second basemen probably don't make, as the next pitch misses low and outside to Johnson. He's ahead 3-1.
Batter sitting 134 coming into this game against Salinas, and 6 of Baylor's first 10 batters have reached on him. I mean, I'd say a 600 on base percentage is pretty good.
3-1. Called to strike 2. Is about to say it could get a little bit better with a walk there on Johnson, but that one barely catches the zone.
I think since he swung the bat a little bit, checked his swing, but certainly thought about it, and that got in the umpire's head.
3-2. Turns on it down the right field line, but it's hooking foul. Past the glove of Ryan Scott at first. He plays really close to the line, 2 feet off it, 3 feet off it maybe. And deep at first. Rest of the infield, though, there's a big gap between the first and second baseman. DeJesus playing closer up towards the middle. That's where Johnson sent it the last time up. And the payoff pitch is on the way again. Tagged into right center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. 3 straight base knocks for the Bears as Johnson takes a big round around first. But he'll return back to that bag safely. A one-out single for him, and he's 1 for 2.
Yeah, an uncharacteristic outing for Salinas. And I was going to mention to you, Joe, infields don't really shift to the left-handed batter Johnson because he uses all parts of the field. He'll go the other way. He'll pull it right down the line, but exactly where the second baseman is, that's kind of the area in which he hit it towards right center field.
Wesley Jordan's the batter now. Slightly checks his swing on a pitch that's low and outside. Gets ball 1. Jordan walked his first time up, was the first batter to reach and come around to score on that Cole Posey grand slam. 1-0 pitch to him. Taken outside, he's ahead 2-0. That's got to be huge for a guy like Jordan to get ahead in the count, ahead 2-0, and be really selective with what he's about to see here against Salinas.
Yeah, walked in that first at bat. He cut down the strikeout numbers. Lots of strikeouts the first couple of weekends, and he's really trimmed those down the past few series.
Line shot. That's going to get down. Another base hit into the corner. Johnson rounding second. He's chugging along towards third. He'll get there standing up. Jordan stays at first, and they go station to station here as the Bears have runners on the corners with one gone.
Couple of relievers started warming up. No one was up in the bullpen coming into this second inning. And right after the Enzo Apodaca 2-run home run, about 3 pitchers started jogging from the dugout into the bullpen down the line. And it looks like probably one more bat for Salinas before they figure out a new arm.
Here's Hunter Toplansky, switch hitter batting from the right side. Lefty Salinas kicks and deals. Jordan takes off for second. He's going to get there with no throw.
If I told you that Wesley Jordan would have the second most stolen bases on this team midway through the season, would you believe me?
I would say that big guy can run. And he can. But I will tell you that 2 of his stolen bases were exactly like that. 0-1 pitch to Toplansky on the ground through the right side of the infield. A base hit for Toplansky. Johnson scores. Jordan rounding third. He will score.
That big guy can run.
Easily from second. And the Bears make it an 8-2 lead.
You've had the home runs, but you've also had just small ball, situational baseball. Put the ball in play and good things will happen. That is 5 straight base hits, rather, for Baylor. There's still 1 out in the inning, and Toplansky on first base. No signs of slowing down, and Incarnate Word's going to motion to the bullpen.
That's right. They'll make a move to the pen. All the bullpen arms making their way out to the right field pen earlier this frame, and they already got a right-hander entering this contest after Salinas throws 20 balls, 28 strikes, 48 total pitches, allows 8 runs on 6 hits, 2 homers, and boy, did the Bears tag him in what will definitely go down as his worst start so far of this season. But nonetheless, it's been a great year so far for Josh Salinas, and the Bears swinging the bats really well and at a premium rate today. So we'll take a quick break before we let you know who the next pitcher for Incarnate Word is. Bears lead it 8-2 on Baylor Lariat Radio, and we'll be back in a few moments from the Baylor Ballpark.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
New pitcher for Incarnate Word as the Bears put up 8 runs in these first 2 frames, 4 in the bottom of the first, 4 here in the bottom of the second. And now it's Daniel Altman will be the first batter against Micah Behrens, a tall right-handed reliever. And his first pitch to the left-handed batting Altman falls in on the breaking ball at 0-1. Behrens, a junior right-handed pitcher, fashioning a 5.89 ERA across 10 appearances so far. This is his 11th as he comes set with the black glove above his black belt. The 0-1 pitch, it catches Daniel Altman above his right ankle. Looks like it may have hit directly on that ankle guard, Foster. Surely did sound like it. Good thing he's got that padding there. He's on his way to first to hit by a pitch and not what Micah Behrens was looking for in his first batter faced.
Well, that was a hard-thrown ball. And I think you'd expect a little bit more wincing if that was just ball to skin, but indeed did have that ankle guard on, similar to what a catcher would put on when they go up there and sit behind home plate, just wearing it under the pants that are all the way down to the ankles for Altman.
So now runners are on first and second, and here is Cole Posey, out off of his first grand slam of the season in his first at-bat, first homer. Picked up 4 RBIs there as well as he collects some signs from third. Shadows casting their way across this infield, completely engulfing third base and down that third base line, nearly catching the bottom half of the mound. The 1-0 pitch to Posey finds the zone. Fastball from Micah Behrens hits the box. It's 1-1. He's thrown 18 1/3 innings so far this year, 17 strikeouts to 13 walks for Behrens, and made 1 start. That was earlier this year in February. Looks back at second at Toplansky. Now he goes home. The 1-1 pitch finds the dirt. Nice sliding stab by J.D. Gregson. And it's 2-1. Had to pick that one up in the left-handed batter's box. He wears all red catcher's gear with the traditional red catcher's mask as Behrens comes set. He looks in, looks back at second, and now the move home. 2-1 pitch is rolled over towards the Baylor dugout. It's going to get inside of it. Someone came up with that ball. Cole Posey stays alive at 2-2, though.
More fun facts on the Salinas start. First appearance this year without recording a strikeout. No Ks and 2 walks given up today in 1 1/3.
Posey ready. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Micah Behrens. Breaking ball that's drilled towards right field. A fly ball that holds up in the wind as Liddington is under it. He makes the catch and fires it in after Hunter Toplansky took a few steps off second. And there's 2 gone in the bottom half of this second frame. Cole Posey flies out to right field. That brings up Cortland Castle.
Well, what we've learned this inning, that you can run on the left fielder Calabrese. You cannot run on Liddington, an absolute cannon of an arm in right field. As he fired that one, almost backpicked Hunter Toplansky, was faking up a tag from second to third. He had to retreat back to the second base bag and probably should have slid the play, was so close.
Micah Behrens, his first pitch to Castle, a hot shot down the left field line, just barely foul though. Looked like it may have hit that area in the dirt that's about 2 feet wide between the chalk and where the grass starts. Castle nearly had himself extra bases. Would have been his first extra base hit of the season. An upright batting stance. Orange and blue bat waving above that right shoulder as he takes down and outside on the breaking pitch from Behrens. Bounces in the dirt. It's 1-1. Castle popped out to first his last time up. He was the last man to bat in the bottom of the first inning. When that was in off his hands, he's up for the second time here in the second frame. Runners are on first and second, 2 gone. The 1-1 pitch. Line drive into center field. Cam Cayley ranges over and makes the catch in the alleyway for out number 3. The Bears will leave 2 runners on base on first and on second, but they add 2 more off of a Enzo Apodaca home run and then a couple of RBIs on the base paths with a single from Hunter Toplansky. Bears lead at 8-2 as we go into the third frame. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Top of the order will lead things off for Incarnate Word here in this top of the third inning. We thank you for tuning in to Baylor Lariat Radio. Joe Pratt and Foster Nicholas with you as Cameron Cayley will step back in. He hit a single his last time up to lead off the game in the top of the first. Came around to score on Dalton Beck's home run, facing Mason Marriott for the second time, and he takes a fastball low and inside for strike one. Infield will shift to the right for the left-handed swinging Cayley. Deplansky's even with the bag 20 feet off the line. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Marriott, taken low and inside by Cayley. Backhanded by Castle, and it's 1-1. Cole Posey plays deep at first, pretty close to the line. Normal depth at second is Altman. 1-1 pitch to Cayley. A high fly ball towards center field. Johnson having to go back towards the wall. He makes the catch on the run. Just in front of the warning track, another deep fly by Cameron Cayley. He flies out to his counterpart in center for the first out.
For those of you, and I know there are some of you who are wondering how many Big 12 teams have put up 8 runs on this Friday night. Well, just the Baylor Bears is the other Big 12 action. Some low-scoring Friday night ball games with good pitching.
Grant Randall steps in. He takes a first pitch breaking ball for strike one. 84 miles an hour from Marriott. Looks like they got that speed gun working. 94 on the fastball. It's 1-1. That one missed low and outside. A good pitch, though, from Marriott. Castle sets up down low in the zone here for the 1-1 pitch. He throws it there, sticks it in the zone, 1-2. And Baylor, of course, being the only one of those teams not playing a Big 12 opponent this weekend. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Randall sends a high chop on the ground towards second. Kemp is up with it, throws on to first. And through the shadows, Posey navigates that one and has out number 2.
4 chances for Kemp at shortstop today and 4 very different looks. They've either been choppers, hard hit, or backhand that was just softly hit towards the opposite side. And Kemp has done a nice job on every single one of those. And also, tip your cap to Cole Posey, who's doing an excellent job at first base.
Dalton Beck, he hit a 2-run home run his last time up. And he takes a breaking pitch, turning into the zone, 0-1. Big left-handed bat. He awaits. A fastball low and outside. Takes 89 miles an hour from Marriott. 1-1 the count on the 50th pitch that he's thrown. Of course, Foster, you mentioned last inning, right after we went off, he threw his 40th strikeout to finish off that top of the second frame. Next pitch misses up and inside. 2-1. Just 10 shy of the mark that he met at the end of last season. Tipped off the glove of Castle, and it's 2-2.
Searching for his first win of this 2024 season as well. It's been his best year as a college athlete, but still searching for the win column.
2-2 to Beck. He reaches out over the plate, skies it down the left field line. Going to be a tough play for Bergman if it stays fair, and it just barely bounces on the dirt about 5 feet to the left of that 330-foot marker. Would have surely been extra bases for Dalton Beck, a guy who already has a slugging percentage above .650 on the season.
And a home run today. But since Beck's home run and then Scott, who walked right after him, Mason Marriott's retired the last 7 batters he's faced.
And the Baylor Bats have scored 8 unanswered. Marriott from the windup. Shadows creeping up just above his chest. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball, he checked his swing and did not go, says the home plate umpire. They didn't even check at third, Foster. Andrew Fulton with the call. Didn't need any help from John Wolf at third base. Beck stays alive. It's 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch. Called strike 3. It didn't even matter. Mason Marriott stares down the home plate umpire as he walks to the third base dugout after another scoreless 3-up, 3-down top of the third inning. The Bears still lead at 8-2 as we go to the bottom of the third. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Eight to 2, the Bears lead it, and we move into the bottom of the third inning as Incarnate Word has now moved on to their second pitcher to be used in this game. The Bears got Josh Salinas out of this contest early, his shortest outing of the season. And now pitching for the Cardinals, it's Micah Behrens. Tall right-handed thrower. He'll be facing Tyreek Kemp to lead off the bottom of the third inning. Already threw 10 pitches in that second frame. A righty-on-lefty matchup. Kemp steps in and takes a breaking ball up above his shoulders. 78 miles an hour on the breaking pitch from Behrens. 1-0. Kemp batting from the left side with the black bat waving over his left shoulder. He awaits, and it's a fastball that he takes low and outside, called a strike 1.
Final line for Salinas, 1 1/3, 6 hits, 8 runs, all of which were earned, 2 walks, and no strikeouts.
Okay, as of course you mentioned, first time this season that he wasn't able to get at least one strikeout. The next pitch to Tyreek Kemp barely misses outside. They're playing him bunt depth over at third. The 2-1 pitch, he takes low and inside. Good eye from Tyreek Kemp as that one finds the dirt on the breaking pitch. Of course, he tried to lay down the bunt his last time up. That was to lead off the bottom of the second inning. Went straight back to the pitcher, and it was an easy play at first. He'll be swinging away here as he shoots one through the right side of the infield. It takes a hop into right field as Tyreek Kemp leads off the bottom of the third with a base knock.
More on Salinas. He entered this ball game with the fewest hits, earned runs, and opponent batting average against in the Southland Conference. He had given up 6 earned runs entering this game, and within 1 1/3 innings, Baylor tagged him for 8.
It's amazing he's given up 5 unearned runs, too, just to show that his field really hasn't done him too many favors. It makes his numbers going into this game that much more impressive. Bergman shows bunt. Kemp takes off towards second. No one's there to receive the throw. It goes into center field. Kemp goes to third. The throw from Cayley not going to be in time as it skips into Hernandez. Slightly pulled off the bag there. Kemp is safe with the headfirst dive. He was going on the first pitch to Caleb Bergman. The throw down from J.D. Gregson, not a bad throw, but who was supposed to be covering likely the second baseman with the right-handed hitting Caleb Bergman up. That would have been Tony DeJesus. He was nowhere near second base. And now Tyreek Kemp, just like that, he's standing 90 feet away. 1-0 the count to Caleb Bergman. Righty-on-righty matchup. Behrens from the stretch. Fastball lays straight back to the brick backstop, and it's 1-1 to Bergman.
Gregson's going to take the error on the play. Even though the throw was perfect, it was right over the second base bag. It was everywhere it needed to be. It even beat Tariq Kemp to that second base bag, but like you said, no one covering. The shortstop had to go back all the way onto the outfield grass to try and retrieve the throw in time. Just wasn't there, and the E2 allows Kemp third after the stolen base.
1-1 to Bergman. Breaking ball laced towards right center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Kemp was tagging at third, but he jogs in to score easily from there. And Caleb Bergman picks up his second RBI on the season. It's 9-2.
In as many innings, a couple of hits for Caleb Bergman. Singles both to right field. As a right-handed bat, he's been late on pitches from both Salinas and Behrens, but I think that's okay when you're hitting to all sides of the field and you're a speed guy. Curious if maybe they have Caleb Bergman search for some speed and steal second.
He's got a big lead at first. The first pitch to Apodaca gets the lower half of the zone, strike one. 18 pitches so far from Behrens. This will be the sixth batter he's faced, three of which have gotten on. He's ahead 0-1 against Enzo Apodaca. Here's the 20th pitch of the afternoon. Apodaca swings. Bergman was running. It's a high fly ball towards center field. Cayley ranging back into deep center. Bergman halfway to second will have to retreat to first as the ball is caught in center by Cayley. One gone.
Yeah, for an example on distance there, Caleb Bergman is fast enough that maybe if he tags, instead of just stealing on the pitch, it may have been deep enough to center field where you consider having your speedster try and tag up and head to two.
Here's Ty Johnson batting just shy of 300, 299. Caleb Bergman, a big secondary lead at first. The pitch missed way outside. Likely a pitch out there from Behrens as J.D. Gregson was standing up before he even received it. 1-0 the count to Ty Johnson, who's 1 for 2. Grounded out to second his first time up, but then singled an inning ago. Came around to score. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Bergman goes, pitches outside. The throw down to second. The tag, it pops out of the glove of Grant Randall. Randall was running across the bag. The throw was slightly closer towards right center field, so he had to cover a bit more ground. He slides it down, but then unable to keep a grasp on it as it just pops out as Bergman slides in with the head-first dive, his third of the season. So another stolen base for Caleb Bergman, and he's on second with one gone. First baseman playing deep there, very close to the line. Third baseman up at third. The 2-0 pitch to Johnson misses outside, 3-0. So now with an open first base, not really needing to do too much here if you're Micah Behrens, if you can draw some weak contact on Johnson, but there's a chance he's likely not swinging here with the count 3-0. We'll see if he's got the green light. Bergman takes a lead at second, and now Behrens moves home. Pitch is taken inside for strike one.
2 stolen bases tonight. Baylor has, coming into this game, 15 stolen bases in 27 games this season, so already well over their pace of about half a stolen base a game.
Yeah, Mitch Thompson said earlier that being aggressive on the paths is something that they want to do as the season progresses. As the 3-1 pitch is skied down towards left field, Calabrese makes his way in front of the warning track and brings in the second out. More opposite field power there from Johnson, just gets under it. And his out number 2 brings up Wesley Jordan. So Johnson moves to 1 for 3, brings up Wesley Jordan, who reached in his first 2 at-bats, walked in the first, singled in the second, also stole a bag and came around to score. Jordan from the right side with Bergman on second, takes a fastball in there for strike one. 90 on the gun from Behrens. Jordan's batting at a .326 clip, 28 hits on the season, 3 homers, 15 driven in, and has got a good opportunity to do so here with 2 outs. Next pitch, he gets underneath one, sends it towards left field. Calabrese makes his way over to deep left field, twisting under it as the wind carries it back, but he settles and has it for the third out. Wesley Jordan flies out, and they leave Caleb Bergman on second. They do get 1 run, though, off of Bergman's RBI single to bring home Kemp. So the Bears make it a 9-2 game. We go to the top of the 4th inning as the Bears look to continue their stronghold on this contest. So thank you for listening to Baylor Lariat Radio. We go to the top of the fourth.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Top of the fourth inning, Baylor leads at 9-2 on Baylor Lariat Radio. Mason Marriott makes his way back out to the mound for the top of the fourth inning. It's a really ideal night for the Bears. You know, coming into this series, Mitch Thompson said they had a lot of respect for this Incarnate Word program, know that they're a really strong team despite, you know, it's not a Big 12 series at this point in the season. Still some business to take care of against a really solid program, and they're doing that tonight.
Yeah, Battle of Texas programs faced off, like you said, 6 times before this. And I don't know if it was just put on the schedule so that the Cayley brothers could match up.
First pitch to Ryan Scott is upstairs, 1-0. Yeah, of course, Harrison not getting the start. 1-0 to Scott. Taken on the breaking ball, 80 miles an hour. He turns away from it, but it's called a strike one. That was the 56th throw on the day from Marriott, who has worked 2 quick innings after giving up 2 in the top of the first. Next pitch is a fastball, misses upstairs, 2-1. Has retired 8 straight batters. 2-1 pitch. High chopper towards short. Kemp has it on the backhand. An easy throw on to first. Slight stretch from Posey, but he hails it in for out number 1.
Cole Posey will have to get used to and comfortable to that first base position, but there's already a lot of synergy between Tariq Kemp and Cole Posey there. That was the first throw from Kemp at the shortstop position that almost pulled Posey off the bag, but that's the first stretch for Cole Posey as a first baseman.
Yeah, that's one maybe where you don't see Greer stretch or Pendergrass stretch, but Posey absolutely, as this one's shot on the ground down the right field line by the Incarnate Word dugout. 0-1 to Tony DeJesus.
Yeah, it's an interesting change for a second baseman to move to first. I think you usually think of corner outfielders maybe transitioning to first base, third baseman transitioning to third, just because that size that they naturally have. Usually at short and second, those are the shorter guys on your team, mobility and speed. And that's what Posey's doing at first.
0-1 pitch, DeJesus takes. It's on the outer half, 0-2. Yeah, a lot of times you'll see a catcher move on to first, too. Not often that a second baseman, a guy like Cole Posey, will make that move. Has played a lot of left field, right field as well. Next pitch is cut on and missed. Strike 3. A breaking ball down in the dirt. Tony DeJesus chases after it. And Mason Marriott has his 5th punch out of the evening.
Yeah, punchies galore for Mason Marriott after that home run. He shut down the last, mark it down as 10 batters since the first inning. 10 up, 10 down for Mason Marriott as he's found his groove.
Yeah, Ryan Scott was the last guy to get on base. That was in the top of the first inning. As here's the guy who bats 2 spots behind him, Rob Liddington. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out to short. And the first pitch he saw missed outside. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball turns in. A really nice breaking pitch from Marriott, hammering that inside part of the zone with it against these righties. It's worked really well for him. It's 1-1. From the windup, working quickly, the next pitch. Low and outside on the fastball. 2 balls, 1 strike, as he's up to 94 and 95. So just good to see that even though he's up to 65 pitches, he's still able to throw at a high velocity and getting faster as the outing goes on. As this one turns Liddington around, it's inside, ties him up, but he does go around about 60%, says the first base umpire. That one in off of his hands. Thinks about swinging at the last second. He doesn't want to. Too late, though. It's 2-2 with 2 gone in the inning. Here it comes. Cut on and miss, strike 3. Second strikeout of the bottom of the 4th inning, 6th of the game for Mason Marriott, and he is cruising, having retired over 10 Incarnate Word batters in a row. Baylor has protected a 9-2 lead. We go into the bottom of the 4th. Thank you for listening to Baylor Lariat Radio. Bears coming up to bat after this.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.
Heart of the lineup coming back up in the bottom of the 4th for the Baylor Bears. They lead it 9-2. And an incredible offensive performance for them so far today, Foster. 4 runs in the bottom of the 1st, 4 in the bottom of the 2nd, 1 in the bottom of the bottom of the 3rd, I should say. And now here we are, bottom of the 4th inning, 9-2 lead.
And I can already hear Mitch Thompson, if they don't score a run this inning, he'll be disappointed. He wants it to be a run every single inning. Keep your foot on the gas and don't let up. I mean, I don't know if Mitch Thompson agreed pregame that if we're up by 15, we'll call this one, but I think that is ultimately the point by the time you reach the 7th inning, is to be up 10 or 12 at the very least, and you're up 7 right now, and you're looking to just keep things rolling, and you got the right part of the lineup up to do that.
It's Hunter Toplansky, the cleanup man. He tags the first pitch he sees, and it's high over our left shoulders, out of play. 1 for 1 tonight, got hit by the pitch in the 1st inning. Reached and obviously came around to score on that Cole Posey grand slam. Next pitch he sees, up and away. Then knocked an RBI single, 2 RBI single in that 2nd frame. Clearly seeing the ball well, batting at .294 on the year. Now takes another breaking ball that finds the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike against Micah Behrens. Back out there for another inning of work after replacing Josh Salinas in the midst of the 2nd inning rally that the Bears had. Salinas was actually the last man that Toplansky faced, so he's the only man in this Baylor order to have not faced Behrens yet. The next pitch he saw bounced in the dirt again, 3-1. Has really cut down on that strikeout rate, Foster. Last time we were here doing a game over a week ago, he was at 31, tagged on the ground towards second. Charging in is De Jesus, a quick flip on to first, and easy out to get to Plansky. But now a week later, he sits at 32, so just 2 strikeouts since then in over 5 games played, or 4 games played, I should say.
And you are really looking to improve that, and today Toplansky does have a hit. He's 1 for 2 despite that ground out. That finally evens up the hit and strikeout totals for Toplansky. He was chasing the hit category and trying to find more hits than strikeouts, and he finally had that opportunity there, but have to wait until later on in this ball game to fix that.
First pitch from Behrens to Altman. Down low beneath his knees. The senior takes for ball 1. He's reached twice today as well. A walk and a hit by pitch, so yet to record an official at-bat. Here's the 1-0. Taken upstairs above the letters, 2-0, 88 miles an hour from Behrens. Looks like there's plenty of activity out in that Incarnate Word bullpen in the right field corner, as Behrens working with the 35th pitch in his hands right here, 2-0. Up high again, 3-0 to Altman. given he's already walked, been hit by the pitch, a 3-0 count. You think he's got the green light here? Base is empty.
No, red light. You're not swinging.
Red light says Foster. It's a called strike one. Yeah, he doesn't swing the bat. Didn't even lift it off his shoulder.
Now middle all the way, and Altman knew it was coming, but, the thought is swing away now.
Here's the 3-1. He doesn't swing away. It's too high. Ball 4. Instead, he reaches first base for the third time tonight in just the fourth inning, and still hasn't recorded an official at-bat.
I think the mentality is usually if you can't wear one, tear one. You got that hit by pitch, but usually right after that, you want to swing away after getting the hit by pitch and feel bat to ball, but it's nothing to hit in that at-bat. Already behind 3-0, it doesn't make sense to swing. You get that strike and then too far outside, so Altman will have to wait to kind of tear a pitch into the outfield.
4-step lead at first, being held on by Scott. From the stretch, here's Barons. Right-handed swinging Cole Posey takes a fastball upstairs. Open the scoring for the Bears, put them ahead 4-2 in the bottom of the first with a grand slam over the left field wall towards the soccer field where they're now playing a game. Next pitch to Posey, misses in the dirt, 2-0. So now that ball's total for Barons, edging out the strikes, 20 balls to 19 strikes. He's about to throw the 40th pitch. Comes set with the black glove above his belt. Short lead at first for Altman. Here's the 2-0 home. Fastball, Posey checks his swing, called to strike one. The sun's setting to our left over the Waco skyline, illuminating the clouds over the left field corner. Darker blue skies overhead. A clear night with the lights on over the ballpark. Next pitch to Cole Posey, misses low and away. Barron's really struggling to find the zone in this fourth. Posey up to 105 on the year, 5 driven in. Hails from the right side with the all-white batting gloves. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Altman takes off towards second. It bounces into the glove of De Jesus. The throw didn't matter, though. He would have been safe there, but Cole Posey is on his way to first with a 5-pitch walk.
Yeah, really, really risky to actually throw that ball as the catcher Gregson. You hold on to that, because if that gets away from the second baseman, Altman heads to third, and then if Cam Cayley in center field were to throw it towards third, Cole Posey's paying attention. He's at second base. So I don't know if that's the right move by Gregson, especially after he already has one error on the game due to that stolen base attempt from Tariq Kemp.
And that one was actually a better throw than that one. It looked like that one pulled the second baseman De Jesus off the bag. Good on his part to keep it in front of him, get some leather on it. First pitch to Cortland Castle, finds the outer half, 0-1. 89-mile-an-hour fastball from Barons. Upright batting stance from the right side. Cortland Castle is 0 for 2. Got runners on first and second with one gone. 0-1. Breaking ball in the dirt. Nice block by Gregson. Is able to keep it in front. Gregson is actually a guy who's pretty familiar with this ballpark. Appeared in 2 games as a Baylor Bear. Was recruited by Steve Rodriguez out of Wakeland High School. Spent the 2021 season here. Of course, didn't appear in too many games, just 2 appearances as Castle lays a bunt down the third base line. Charging in the third baseman, Rodriguez. Throw gets away up the right field line. 1 run comes in to score. Castle moves on to second as the second baseman has to back up the throw. It rattles off the end of the dugout, so it doesn't go all the way down the right field line. Kind of shallow right. As De Jesus was over to field it, the runners were going on the pitch anyway. So Altman scores easily. Cole Posey moves up to third, and they make it a 10-2 ball game. Runners will be on second and third for Tariq Kemp.
Yeah, important. Cortland Castle thought he was caught in a rundown between first and second there, but realized that the second baseman was the one with the ball, and the shortstop was covering third, so he had second base wide open. It'll go down as probably just an error. It allows everyone to advance a couple extra bases.
Kemp watches a fastball go by outside for strike one. Two errors so far for Incarnate Word. I mentioned earlier the amount of unearned runs that they allow. The 0-1 pitch to Tariq Kemp bounces 4 feet in front of home plate. Gregson has to block it. He's been a great backstop tonight for both of his pitchers. And he keeps that one in front as well with both runners in scoring position. Really important to keep them there as the Bears lead it by 8. And a 1-1 count to Tyreek Kemp. Have to wonder how long Incarnate Word will let Barons go in this one. Here's the 46th pitch. 1-1. Kemp sends a high chopper towards first. Scott in at first. He bobbles it, though. Has to make the play to first. He is going to go to home. Cole Posey scores easily there. Has to look back to get Tyreek Kemp at first. Just barely does with the help of his pitcher. Cortland Castle moves up to third, and it's 11-2 ball game. The Bears lead it. So this is not a situation that Incarnate Word usually has found itself in. But, of course, as a road team, their numbers are significantly different than when they play at home. They own a 13-4 home record, and they just play 2-8 away from their home ballpark. Caleb Bergman is the next batter. Takes a breaking pitch on the outer half for strike one, 80 miles an hour from Barons. Bergman is 2 for 2. Pair of singles in the second and third innings. Picked up his second driven in by batting home Kemp an inning ago. 0-1 pitch. Fouls it straight back to the all-metal backstop. I should say all-brick backstop.
He's not going to be afraid to swing away, especially 2 strikes, 2 outs. This is the kind of moment for Caleb Bergman. Settle into it and maybe drop down a bunt.
Well, he's behind 0-2 now with 2 gone. Runner on third is Cortland Castle. Barons come set. Here it comes. Breaking ball that turns in, just barely misses. Really good pitch from Barons. His infield mates thought that they had strike 3 there. They were headed to the dugout. Got to go back to their spots. Bergman stays alive. It's 1-2. Righty on righty matchup as Barons turns home. Breaking ball way upstairs, 2-2. Takes Gregson out of the crouch. Yeah, but as mentioned earlier, just 3.8 runs per game in road games. 10 games played on the road that Incarnate Word has had this year. They don't eclipse the 4-run mark usually. And at home, they're nearly at 12, 11.65. Pitch to Bergman, over the head of the catcher. Gregson's going to get back to the backstop. Castle will come in and tap on home plate easily, and the Bears lead it by 10.
That play, or rather that pitch, was all because of Cortland Castle bouncing around at third base. Baylor does this every time with a right-handed pitcher on the mound and a runner on third. They'll fake towards home. They'll bounce around a little bit until they get the pitcher to look them dead in the eyes. He did that. He looks back, lost his target, and threw over Bergman's head, and the run comes in to score.
And now the 3-2 to Bergman. Line drive, left field. That'll get down for a base hit. The third of the night for Caleb Bergman. Takes a big round around first, and he's 3 for 3 on the day.
So the runner would have scored either way. I think Bergman maybe kicking Castle a little bit for taking an RBI off the score sheet for him, but, I mean, obviously the run scoring because of the wild pitch. Barron just hasn't been able to get out of his own way here in this 4th inning. Either missing pitches or putting him right in the barrel zone like he did to Caleb Bergman. So as I said before this inning, you want to get up by 10-12 by the time you hit the bottom of the 7th inning. It's a 10-run lead right now with a 12-2 game. And I think the understanding now is let's put up more in the 5th and 6th. And I think, still fingers crossed for a run. Well, I guess that's never a guarantee, but it does have to be 10 runs, and both sides have to be in agreement, or the time has to be a factor. You have to play over 2.5 hours by the time it hits that bottom of the 7th inning. One of those few things that does designate a run rule. And UIW has run ruled 3 games, or rather 4 games in a row.
Yep.
So I don't know if they were anticipating one, maybe said, yeah, why not? But obviously want to conserve your pitching, as this is a non-conference 3-game series in the middle of, rather, the first weekend of April. So that also a factor working into this series.
Yeah, that's true. And Incarnate Word is a team that not necessarily is winning a lot of ball games or crediting their 16 or 15 wins on the season, I guess, to their bullpen pitching. Bullpen pitching, not something that they really lead too many categories in their conference. I mean, their best bullpen arm has a low ERA of 4.50, and now the new man coming into this game is going to be Luke Smith, and he's at the bottom of this bullpen at a 37.8 ERA. An 0-1 record, has appeared in 3 games, has made 1 start. He's allowed 7 earned runs and 1.2 innings pitched, Foster. So this is clearly a game that now it looks like kind of mailing it in, maybe throwing out some arms, getting a lot of guys time, because it's more than likely that Incarnate Word and the Cardinals are not going to be able to come back in this ball game. The way that the bats are hitting and the way that the Baylor bats are prevailing on the other side too.
And, you know, you look at Baylor, they've got the 9 hits. They've worked 4 walks as well. They've been hit by a pitch twice. But at the end of the day, 27 different guys have come up to home plate, and not a single one of them in their plate appearances have struck out. No strikeouts here, with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. Just tacks on to how good Baylor has been today. And the numerous, I mean, can't even count the number of 2 strike counts they've had as well. And yet they've put the ball in play, they've worked a walk. And I think worst comes to worst, you fly out to dead center field or you hit a hard ground ball on the infield. The bat has hit the ball, and that has been, I guess, more impressive than the 12 runs on the board, is that 27 guys, Enzo Apodaca, who's up for his 4th at bat, being 28, have come up to the plate, and no strikeouts have been recorded.
This is his 4th at-bat of the game, and we're in the 4th inning. And the first pitch he sees nearly hit him, had to spin away from it, up and in on the fastball. Just 86 miles an hour from Luke Smith. It misses the mark. Lefty on lefty matchup. Smith comes set, glove in front of his chest. Line drive past the glove of the second baseman DeJesus into right field. Another base knock for Enzo Apodaca. He improves to 2 for 4.
Another 2-hit game for Enzo, like you had mentioned. Leads the team with multi-hit games. He's just going to keep that rolling.
It has to be over 10 at this point. Of course, you mentioned Incarnate Word. They're usually not on this side of a deficit like this. 10 runs, and you brought up that 4-game stretch where they got 4 run rules in a row. That was in games 5 through 9 on the season for them. The first pitch to Ty Johnson, low and inside on the breaking ball he takes. Runners are on first and second. 1-0 the count to Johnson. And they played 4 home games, of course, mentioning how well their offense performs at home. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Johnson. Ties them up. A little spinner on the infield. Second baseman DeJesus charges in, tries to tag the runner, is unable to, and the throw on to first is not in time. Bergman tries to score from third, and he does, sliding in safely, catching Incarnate Word off guard, and some heads-up base running there from the Bears. They move to runners on the corners. Bergman scores, and they make it a 13-2 game.
Bergman just makes things happen, and that's a fantastic play by the speedy Baylor infielder. 10th game of the year for Enzo Apodaca to have multi-hits. He's also reached base 2 or more times. And more than that, we'll get that number for you here quickly, but mentioned before the game, he's reached base 4 more times in 5 ball games, including a game where he had 3 walks and 1 hit. I mean, he's doing it all. The review going on the field, seeing if the second baseman whipped the tag on Enzo Apodaca before he slid into second base, because Ty Johnson was safe at first on the throw, beat it out. Question is if Enzo Apodaca, the second baseman, kind of charged, fielded it, and then motioned his glove backwards as if he was going to tag him.
Yeah, that's actually a really heads-up play by the second baseman, DeJesus, because you don't want to cut off the runner too much, but of course you want to try to maybe run in front of him to see if he clips you. You could maybe kind of embellish a little bit and get an interference call, and that would, of course, end the inning. But all he's able to do is kind of try to just swipe the tag on him. Puts a really great throw on to first, which it looked like would have been a close play at first. And then Ryan Scott didn't necessarily know what to do with the ball from there. Caleb Bergman moved up to third and advanced the extra 90 feet as he noticed the Cardinals weren't necessarily paying attention to him, as the call on the field will stand. So Enzo Apodaca advances to third on the throw. It's going to be an infield single, RBI single, and then Caleb Bergman advancing home to score. As here's the first pitch to Wesley Jordan with the runners on the corners. It's in off his hands, fouled straight back over the metal canopy at the Baylor Ballpark. The 5th pitch from Luke Smith finds the zone. It's 0-1. Lefty on righty matchup from the first base side of the rubber, and the stretch. Here's Smith's next offering. High fly ball right field, trailing back to it Liddington into deep right center. He settles under it and has out number 3. The Bears will leave 2 runners on the base paths, but put up 4 additional runs and take a dominant control over this game, leading it 13-2 as we go to the top of the fifth frame. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all of the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Thirteen to 2, Baylor leads it in the top of the fifth inning with 4 runs in the first, second, fourth, and then 1 run in the third to make it 13-2. And Mason Marriott back on the mound. His 68th pitch is too high to J.D. Gregson, who leads off the top of the fifth frame. 7, 8, and 9, the Cardinals will go. They just have 2 runs on 2 hits so far and haven't recorded a hit since that first inning. Next pitch finds the zone. It's 1-1 to Gregson. Gregson's 0 for 1. He struck out swinging to lead off the second frame, and now he takes low and outside, 2-1. Of course, as mentioned earlier, Gregson, a guy who was recruited to Baylor and spent 1 year here, appeared in just 2 games for the Bears. 2-1 pitch, sky-high foul ball towards the parking lot. Pratt Baseball reports number 3 catcher coming out of high school in Texas was Gregson. After Baylor went on to,
tied for the team lead in home runs, showing off that potential. He's got 6 of them.
6 homers this year, and up to a .308 batting average. Here's the 2-2 pitch to him. Takes low and outside. A good eye as well. It's 3-2. Yeah, after Baylor, he went on to play at Grayson College, 31 games there. Slugged at an .835 clip, 12 homers and 10 doubles in under 100 ABs. 3-2 pitch, taken inside, ball 4. Mason Marriott thought he had himself another strikeout on the evening.
Had retired 11 in a row before walking Gregson right there, so now Marriott's going to have to bounce back, see if he can still get that 1-2-3 with an unconventional double play ball.
Daniel Calabrese is the batter, .343 average on the year. Line drive straight up the middle over the leaping Daniel Altman into center field. And Gregson is trying to advance to third. He rounds second, and he will get there easily standing up. Runners go on first and third with nobody out, and Ryder Hernandez stepping in.
13 batters between base hits. Just a third on the day for Incarnate Word. The last base hit against Marriott was that 2-run home run in the first inning.
An incredible stretch for Marriott, shutting down these Incarnate Word batters. Not a lot of pitchers have been able to do that this season. His first pitch to Ryder Hernandez, low and outside, ball 1. Incarnate Word not being shut out all of this season. Of course, they did get those 2 runs in the top of the first. Being shut out ever since. Next pitch misses up and away. 93 on the gun from Marriott, and the 76 pitch he threw. 2-0. Hernandez awaits from the right side. Runners on the corners. Here it comes. Cut on and miss. 2-1. Gotta like the way he's worked inside. He works those breaking balls inside against these right-handed batters, almost as if he's throwing it at their right shoulders, and it just dips in. This is a fastball that's ripped straight back into the screen. 2-2 now. Hernandez, a Texas State transfer, rather. 46 games with them last year. Sends another foul ball back into the net. Stays alive at 2-2. Marriott went back to the breaking ball there at 81.
Creating a lot of soft contact tonight is Marriott. You've seen those ground balls to Tariq Kemp. In fact, it's only been one out. That wasn't a strikeout or a ground out to Kemp.
Checks his swing on the 2-2 pitch, and he did go around. Strike three. Another K on the evening for Mason Marriott, and does so with perfect timing. Runners are on the corners with one out. Now they have a chance to try to get a double play ball with the top of the order. Cameron Cayley coming back up.
Cayley doesn't ground out a whole lot. He'll put the ball in the air, as you saw in that third inning, a fly ball to deep center.
First pitch to him. Breaking ball that turns into the lefty. He just watches it break in the zone from outside at 81. And he's down 0-1. That was the 80th pitch from Marriott on the evening. And he's up to 7 strikeouts. He comes set with the black glove above his belt. Here it comes. Fastball tipped into the glove of Castle. He squeezes it, and it's 0-2. Infield will be pinching the bag at second. Kemp playing a normal depth short. Altman slightly closer to the bag. Runner held on at first by Posey. Toplansky even depth third. Next pitch misses up and away. 1-2 to Cayley. Cayley is 1 for 2. Led off the game with a single. Flew out in the third. And making his return to Baylor after 3 seasons here, as Marriott will check back at first. Runner there, Calabrese, dives back in safely. Lights are on here as the sky continues to darken, and Marriott turns with the 1-2 pitch, and a swing and a high fly ball towards right field. Apodaca going up, leaping, it's off the wall. Gonna have to regather himself as it makes its way back into right field. One run will come in to score, another will move up to third, Calabrese, and that's going to go down as a double for Cam Cayley. It looked like it may have hit that wooden stands out there, those 2 wooden boxes there that they have in right field that sit just above the right field wall. It looked like it may have hit the railing of one of those, but
no review, obviously,
yeah,
but I certainly thought that's a home run. Looked like a 3-run shot, and it looked like it hit off that wood pole out there, like you had mentioned, in right field. It just, the ball got lost in the light. Apodaca lost it, and I think as I was looking at it, I even lost the ball in those glaring lights. A light post probably, 10 feet away from the pole that it probably hit off of, but
yeah,
we don't have the TV replay review, but that certainly looked like it left the ballpark.
it really did. I mean, it missed by a couple feet. Now James Leverton is talking with Mason Marriott. The rest of the infield on the mound right now. Yeah, the runners are standing on second and third. That'll go down as an RBI double for Cam Cayley. Gathers his 28th RBI on the season. A couple behind Dalton Beck, who leads the team. He, of course, increased on that mark with the 2-run homer back in the first inning. He stands in the on-deck circle, though, as Grant Randall steps in. And the mound visit concludes. Runners are on second and third with 1 gone. He gets a big swing and miss from Grant Randall on a pitch that was low and away. 0-1. Outfield playing straight up. Flag in center field still blowing away towards the river. The 0-1 pitch. He has to reach out and golf this one on the infield into shallow right. Altman's over to get it and makes the grab for the second out. That's exactly what you needed if you're Marriott. 2 runners in scoring position and a weak pop-up.
Yeah, a lot of soft contact, and for the most part, Marriott's a ground ball pitcher this season. He gave up 7 home runs last year. Gave up his second home run of this season in the first inning, but other than the pop-out and the fly-out in the third inning, every other out has been recorded on a ground ball or a strikeout.
First pitch to Dalton Beck, up and inside, backs him up off the plate, 1-0. Yeah, and all of those ground balls outs were to Tariq Kemp. There have been 5 6-3 putouts in this ball game, as the next pitch missed low, 2-0.
7 strikeouts as well.
And it's been a lot of chopped contact, not necessarily hard hit ground balls, but a lot of balls that Kemp kind of has to wait on a few hops on. 2-0 pitch, up and away, 3-0. So pitches that he's getting a lot of guys to roll over on, it seems like.
Look here is a 3-0 count. Marriott has retired every batter he's faced with 2 outs in the inning. They're 0 for 4 against him. On the year, 282 with 2 down.
3-0. He gets over top, 3-1. Right down the middle with the fastball.
This is probably it for Marriott. It's this batter or the inning at the 90 pitch mark. Don't really want to clear 95.
Here's the 3-1 pitch. Hard hit on the ground towards short. Kemp to Anita. Field it. Bounces in front of him. He's up throwing in time to get Dalton Beck at first. So Mason Marriott completes 5 strong innings. He allows 3 runs on 4 hits. And the Bears well in control, 13-3, navigating into the bottom of the 5th inning. And when we get there, Foster Nicholas will take you home on the play-by-play when we return. Bears lead 13-3.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
We head to the bottom of the 5th inning on Baylor Lariat Radio. The green and gold having a night to remember. It's 13-3 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning in favor of the Baylor Bears. 13 runs, 11 hits. Well, for Incarnate Word, it's been 3 runs on 4 hits and 2 errors. Welcome back in Foster Nicholas alongside Joe Pratt and Luke Smith, who is back out there on the bump for Incarnate Word, as he'll be dealing against 4, 5, and 6 in the Baylor order to start off this bottom of the 5th inning. And the first pitch finds the strike zone to Toplansky. It's 0-1. Hunter Toplansky 1 for 2, hit by pitch, singled, grounded out. Next pitch bounces up to the plate. Gets away from the catcher Gregson. It's 1-1. Couple of runs batted in and a run scored for the switch hitting third baseman. An opportunity here for Toplansky with a base hit to switch the hit and strikeout category, put more hits than strikeouts on the season total as he watches this one miss outside. It's 2-1. Smith was able to get that last out of the inning of Wesley Jordan to close the 4th. Toplansky will foul this one straight back, 2-2. Ended the line for Micah Behrens, 2 1/3, 3 hits, 5 runs, 2 of which were earned, and then a couple of walks. Still no strikeouts for the Bears. 2-2 here, misses outside, ball 3. Well, if anyone were to strike out for the first time today, it would be the guy at the plate, but as we mentioned earlier on, changing the script, only 1 strikeout in the last week and trying to figure things out at the plate. Payoff pitch from the stretch on the way. This one bounces up to the plate, and Hunter Toplansky works a walk. Another base runner to open the inning for the Baylor Bears. It's just the second leadoff hitter to reach base for Baylor. They've scored 4 runs in the 1st, 2nd, and 4th. Added 1 in that 3rd inning. This is only the 2nd time, however, the leadoff man reached base.
It just shows you how great they're hitting with runners on base. 7 for 14, 4 for 8, so 500 clip when 2 outs and when runners are on.
First pitch to Daniel Altman finds the strike zone at the knees. It's 0-1. As mentioned previously in the 4th inning, still doesn't have a plate appearance, or rather doesn't have an at-bat. 3 plate appearances, 2 walks, and hit by pitch. Next pitch, breaking ball at 87, finds the knee-high strike zone. It's 0-2. A couple of runs scored on those walks for Daniel Altman. On-base percentage at .444 for the Baylor second baseman. Lefty-lefty matchup, 0-2 pitch on the way. Misses low, ball one. Looking to make the most of his opportunities is Daniel Altman, a guy who didn't expect a whole lot of playing time when we talked to him. A couple of days ago, he said, I didn't expect that playing time and just trying to make the most of my opportunities now that I'm an everyday guy. He'll ground this one to second. Over there to field is De Jesus to second for one. Relay to first. 4-6-3 double play executed to perfection by Incarnate Word. As moving to his left was De Jesus, and then the shortstop, Grant Randall, finishes the play with a fire to first.
How smooth is De Jesus at second? He's made a couple of really nice plays. That time having to go to his left and then pirouette and throw across his body back to second on a line. Perfect. And then nice job by Randall to complete that double play, the first of the day by either of these teams.
Cole Posey will dig in for his fourth at-bat of the day, rather fourth plate appearance. 2 at-bats credited to him. Takes a first pitch strike. 1 for 2, a grand slam to left field to open up this ball game in the first. A flyout and then a walk in the fourth. Takes another pitch low. This one misses the strike zone, however. It's 1-1. Couple of runs scored for the Baylor first baseman today. See if the spark of the bat sees more playing time for him. He'll rip this one to shortstop and caught on a line by Grant Randall. Went down to his knees, and in squatting position, he scoops that one out of the air. 1-2-3 inning, if you credit it that way, to end the fifth inning. We'll head to the sixth. Still 13-3, Baylor on top.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
End of the day for starting pitcher Mason Marriott. Well, he's in line for his first win of the 2024 season. Came in at an 0-3 record with one of the best ERAs on the team, and Baylor rewarded him with 13 runs through 5 innings. As we head to the sixth, and Patrick Hale takes over, the tall right-handed arm coming in out of the bullpen with a 3.21 ERA. And 14 innings pitched on the year. One of the most reliable arms for Baylor, and likely just out there hoping to get 6 more outs as we look towards a run rule victory in favor of the Bears. It's 13-3 in the top of the 6th inning. Final line for Mason Marriott, 5 innings pitched. He gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, all of which were earned, 2 of which came in a 2-run home run in the first, and then the Cam Cayley double an inning ago. Walked just 2 batters and struck out 7. He surpassed the 40 strikeout mark on the season and is just 1 outing away from matching his strikeout total from a year ago. Patrick Hale will face 4, 5, and 6 in the UIW lineup coming up here in the top of the 6th inning. Baylor's infield, well, really, Tariq Kemp and Cole Posey backing up Mason Marriott well, and we'll look to do the same for the reliever and Patrick Hale.
Yeah, I got to really like how Mason Marriott was able to get that first pitch strike, and that's something that has really benefited this bullpen as well. So hopefully can expect Patrick Hale to do more of that. 19 strikeouts to just 7 walks this season. So not something he struggled with, is throwing strikes.
Working from the windup. First pitch swinging is Scott. He'll send this one to left center field. It's off the glove of Bergman in the gap, and it'll find its way all the way to the wall. Bergman relays it in, but a play he probably should have made. His first step was toward the right field line, and then he tagged all the way towards left center field. Ran the ball down. It just went off the top of the glove and rolled backward towards the wall.
Yeah, tough to tell. That's got to be one that he lost in the lights. It was a really sharp line drive off the bat of Scott, and looked like he might have just had a grab easily right by his left ear, but it's going to go down as an E7, just bounces off his glove, and that's exactly what Incarnate Word needed, a leadoff base runner in scoring position.
They got that on the first pitch of the inning as Tony DeJesus digs in. 0 for 2 today. Strikeout and a ground out to Tariq Kemp at short. That's the first error of the day for Baylor on only second flyout of the ball game, or rather, second opportunity. This one ripped down the third base line. It'll tail foul, 1-1. DeJesus, a .290 hitter, 1 home run on the season. Fifth inning marked the first inning that the Bears haven't scored this game. 4 in the first, 4 in the second, 1 in the third, and then 4 in the fourth in that unconventional 1-2-3 inning, with the double play thrown in there. Put the scoring streak to an end for the Bears. Patrick Hale goes back to the fastball but misses high. It's 2-2. Sophomore second baseman. It's ready to dig back in. Count's actually 2-1 to Tony DeJesus. Time called. Third base umpire a bit confused, as that is John Wolf. Went over and talked to the home plate umpire trying to check the count. Bolton had 2-1. Third base umpire John Wolf had 2-2. Correct count is 2-1. Patrick Hale will be working from the stretch. He's got the glove pinned to his belt, now fires away. One hopper towards Tariq Kemp. It goes under the glove and he boots it. First error on Kemp today as the runner DeJesus will be safe at first. Kemp just didn't have his glove all the way against the ground and took one hop and then started rolling. He was expecting a one hopper similar to me. It just didn't bounce off the grass and rolled towards the second base bag. Rod Liddington would be due up to bat, but 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out towards shortstop. He'll be pinch hit for. It'll be Sam Tormus, who digs into the right-handed batter's box instead with 2 on and no outs. First real threat since an inning ago. Breaking ball, strike 1 from Patrick Hale. Well, there was that jam in the fifth. Cayley doubled in a run. Then there were runners on second and third. Marriott escaped, but the only other jam was that first inning that allowed the 2-run home run. 0-1 the count, pitch on the way. Outside corner, just misses too low, ball 1.
Yeah, Kemp was able to receive and field cleanly the first 6 ground balls he got. Maybe getting a little bit too complacent there. Got to get that glove dirty, and now runners on first and second, nobody out.
Set at the belt, fires away too far inside, shaves Tormus off the plate. It's 2-1. 2-1 count, top of the 6th, 13-3 Baylor lead, but Incarnate Word with a couple of base runners and no outs. Both batters reaching on errors, and imagine where Patrick Hale is right now if both of those plays are made. Hale set at the belt, 2-1 pitch, fly ball, shallow right field. Apodaca searching for it, moves to his left, makes the play. Runner will not tag at second as a crow hop and fires it back in. First out of the inning is retired as Tormus goes down.
Well, at this point, if those 2 plays were made, he'd be in the dugout. 3 up, 3 down, and that's just what happens when you make fielding mistakes. You keep your pitcher out there for longer than he really wants to be, and as your first guy out of the pen, you want to maybe try to keep that pitch count as low as you can, with it being Friday night and one of your top guys in Patrick Hale in the game. But clearly some fielding issues in this inning. Hale's going to have to work a little bit extra hard. Let's see if his guys in the field can back him up a bit better as the inning progresses.
J.D. Gregson digs in and takes a mighty cut at a pitch high in the zone. Chase that cheese. It's 0-1. Gregson 0 for 1. Walk, struck out. Did score a run an inning ago. Hale checks the second base bag. Not really a threat there into Jesus. Pitch on the way. Bounce towards third. Toplansky lays out. It gets through into left field. Up with it is Bergman. He'll fire it towards third. The runner will come home and score with ease. First base hit of the inning for Incarnate Word. Plates an unearned run. As they claw one run closer, it's 13-4.
Yeah, and that is just about as much of an emergency swing as you can have if you're J.D. Gregson. It's low and inside. He was off of his back foot. He actually lost his footing with his right foot and kind of stutter-stepped a little bit after swinging it. He fell backwards, and it was low and inside. He just pokes it through. He's able to get a RBI out of it.
Patrick Hale now facing Daniel Calabrese. Calabrese is 1 for 2. Pitch missed. Rather found the zone outside. 78-mile breaking pitch. Facing the .361 hitting left fielder. Just his 10th start of the season. Pitch on the way. This one bounced straight back off Castle and foul. It's 0-2. So Hale working his way out front. Done that all year long. 19 strikeouts to 7 walks on the season. Run that he gave up this inning was the first unearned run that has been credited to Patrick Hale. Prior to this, 5 runs given up. They were all earned. So the defense has been at their peak when Patrick Hale is on the bump, but not today. Looks to second, 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Way out ahead of the 83-mile-an-hour breaking pitch after Hale takes something off. The Bears record their 8th strikeout of the evening. And Ryder Hernandez, the last man standing between the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, and the 20th K on the season for Patrick Hale in nearly 15 innings pitched. He's 1 out away from that mark, and that was one that was way outside the zone. Calabrese was definitely looking fastball or looking something other than what he got, and he swung way out in front of it.
Yeah, the danger of looking for one specific pitch is being way too far ahead, which he was. Ryder Hernandez, the 9-hitter, will foul off the first pitch he sees. Behind 0-1. Hernandez 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts swinging. Those coming in the 2nd and 5th innings, respectively. 234 hitter on the year is the Cardinal third baseman. Junior digs in. Hale fires away. Big swing and a miss. Went and took something off it again. 83 miles an hour. So Hale will work in the upper 80s, maybe touch the 90-mile-an-hour mark with his fastball. Cut it down with a changeup around 78, and then that cutter, which is working 83, 84 on the day for Patrick Hale. Big righty checks second base, glove pinned to the belt. Fires away. Too far outside, 1-2. Couple of runners on, first and second. 13-4 lead in favor of the Baylor Bears, but one already across for Incarnate Word here in the top of the 6th inning. Look to second, fire away. Big swing and a miss, and Hale retires the side. 1 run allowed on just 1 hit, but a couple of errors plaguing the Bears led to the bottom of the 6th. Looking for more action. This is Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears! Are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Heading to the bottom of the sixth inning at Baylor Ballpark, Foster Nicholas alongside Joe Pratt bringing you the action. It's 13-4 in favor of the green and gold, but if they want to play just 3 more outs, Baylor's got to score 1 more run, leading by 9. Run rule is 10 or more after 7 innings of play. So the Bears need to tack on a little bit more if they want to be done early, and certainly have that opportunity to do so, as the left-handed pitcher Luke Smith still out there. After not allowing a run in 1 1/3 innings pitched, his ERA still sitting at 21 on the season, as he's thrown 3 innings pitched, including those today, and given up 7 runs and 7 hits with 6 walks and just 2 strikeouts. But it's time for the replacements for Baylor. We'll mention that Sam Tormas, who pinch hit, remains in the game in right field. And Braden Buchanan going to come in and pinch hit for Cortland Castle here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Freshman digs in, first pitch, misses outside and low, ball 1. Hitting just 130 on the year, hasn't seen consistent playing time, 3 hits and 23 at bats. Pitch on the way, takes this one on the inside corner, strike 1, 1-1. Buchanan saw a couple of at-bats in that opening couple of weekends in those series. First base and catcher. 1-1, misses low and in, 2-1. And then just hasn't found his way back in there consistently because the bat hasn't picked it up. Guy who hit over 350 in high school throughout his career with a ton of power, just hasn't found that knack. 7 strikeouts, 6 walks, and 3 hits. 2-1. Swings, pops this one foul, straight back out of play, 2-2.
Yeah, suffered an injury in his senior season in high school, so not too large of a sample size there. It's a lot of time to take, between your senior year. Still put up a really good year, a 355.
Pitch on the way. He'll line this one to right center field. It'll get down in front of Cam Cayley for a base hit. Just a lob ball towards right center field puts Buchanan on first to lead off the inning.
That's just a great swing there, though, by Buchanan. It's one that's down low and outside in the zone. It's a breaking pitch that's breaking towards him. Not trying to do too much with it. Goes with it to the opposite field into the power alley in right center that so many bats have been able to put balls to today. And he reaches base. Another leadoff man on for the Bears.
Tariq Kemp digs in, takes the first pitch too far high and inside, ball 1. Shortstop 1 for 3 with a couple spectacular plays on defense and then an error in that top half of the inning that eventually allowed a run to score. Pitch on the way, outside corner. That's strike 1. Kemp with a multi-hit game in the midweek last week. Trying to pick up the bat, but still hitting below that Mendoza line at 179. Check Buchanan at first does Smith, now sends it towards the plate. Gregson will hold that one on the outside corner, but he doesn't get the call. It's 2-1. Working from the stretch with the runner on. Tucks that glove against his chest now, comes set. Brings it up near the neck area. Fires away. Kemp leaning towards it, bouncing outside the zone, and then saying take. It's 3-1.
Yeah, he's really active in the box. A lot of happy feet as the pitch comes in, watches it all the way in, kind of Soto Shuffle-esque. Much shorter, though.
3-1 pitch. This one dribbled towards first, scooped up there by Scott. Fires to second for 1. There will be no relay, but they do get Buchanan out at first. Mark it down as a 3-6 ground out as Braden Buchanan is forced off the base path. Caleb Bergman will dig in. He's had quite a day for himself. 3 singles, 2 runs scored, and a stolen base, as well as a run batted in, so doing just about everything is the Baylor left fielder. Digs in the 9-hole. First pitch he sees, misses high, ball 1. More on that Tariq Kemp-Juan Soto comparison. Soto will move forward in the batter's box. Kemp instead pushes backwards and almost climbs over the plate if the pitch is outside. That's usually when you see him running around. 1-0 pitch to Bergman. Too far inside. He shakes it off. It's 2-0.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe Ichiro is a better comparison. Kind of watches in. Sometimes he does like kind of a spin. height comparison works better in that sense, too.
Yeah, both shorter guys that, I guess Kemp's still looking to find his stride. Big swing by Bergman. He'll pop this one up. He got under it a little bit too much as it soars out to left field. Average depth out there for Calabrese, and he makes the play for out number 2.
Well, someone finally was able to get Caleb Bergman out. Was 3 for 3 before that, all of which were hard hit line drives, and you could tell he just missed that one. Got underneath it, dipped beneath with the back shoulder, and could have had himself a 4 for 4 day if he was able to straighten that out.
Left on left matchup as Enzo Apodaca digs back in for his 5th at bat of the day. First pitch, a breaking ball at 79 that toys the outside corner. Strike 1. 2-run shot for Apodaca in the 2nd inning, and then a single in the 4th. Check Kemp at first, fire away, misses outside, 1-1. Well, with Ty Johnson on deck and Wesley Jordan in the hole, Baylor certainly not out of it, but we'd like to prevent that walk-off-esque opportunity in the bottom of the 7th if you're still only up by 9. Pitch on the way. This one ripped down the right field line. It tails just foul. About 2 or 3 feet off of the fair foul line and ends up rolling all the way to the wall. It's 1-2 now.
All over that 85-mile-an-hour fastball from Luke Smith. 101 off the bat. Apodaca scorching that one down the right field line, similar to what he did to a ball back in the 2nd inning, punishing it over the right field fence.
Set at the chest, fires away, checks his swing, appeal to first, router to third. They say he went around. That is the first strikeout by a Baylor batter all day, as Apodaca couldn't hold up, and we head to the 7th inning. Baylor still on top 13-4.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Heading to the top of the 7th, Bears up by 9. Thanks for tuning in to Baylor Baseball. I know there's plenty going on between WrestleMania and Final Four for women's basketball, but the Baylor Bears looking to, they're grappling on their own. It's 13-3. Buchanan's going to stick in the game for the green and gold and play catcher in replacement of Cortland Castle. But you can still see Patrick Hale out there on the bump for the Bears as he takes on the top third of the lineup for the first time today in Cam Cayley, Grant Randall, and Dalton Beck. Well, Cameron Cayley digs in for the first at-bat against Hale and takes a first pitch ball, 1-0. Cayley 2 for 3. Scored a run in the first on a single and a stolen base, and then played it on the home run. Doubled in a run in his last at-bat in the 5th inning. Takes this one high and outside, ball 2.
So where would you be tonight if you weren't here and you had to choose between the Final Four and WrestleMania or the MLB? What are you watching?
I mean, I don't know. Pitch on the way. This one too far outside, 3-0. I think, I watched that Ryan McMahon Grand Slam. I get pumped, take a little break, walk around the room, and about this time I'd turn on that Iowa and UConn game.
For sure.
But the task at hand is Hale and Cayley. 3-0 pitch, outside corner, strike 1. 88 on the fastball from Patrick Hale. And outright here dips his ERA below the 3.00 mark that it's sitting at right now. Glove in front of the face from the windup pitch. Big swing and a miss. Cayley looking for home run. Could have been his second of the game if the other one was reviewed. It's 3-2. Yeah, we'll have to go back and look at that replay to see if Cayley did clear the fence with that homer. Or rather, ended up being a double. Hale works too far inside, and Cayley will lead off the inning with a walk for Incarnate Word, and the Cardinals looking to keep some pressure on the Bears and make them work a little bit harder than they probably anticipated when they were up 13-3, rather 13-2 in that top of the fifth inning. Pinch hitter for Grant Randall is going to be Weldon Sherrill. Sherrill will mostly play infield and probably stay in the game for Randall. Pitch on the way. Strike on the outside corner.
Continues to be a tough time this season for Grant Randall. Entered this game above 300.
Bounces this one foul. It's 0-2.
Down to 301 on the year and had a really great start to the season. Was up to nearly a 400 clip a few weeks ago, and then since then in his last 4 or 5 contests, that average has continued to falter.
Sherrill, another guy hitting north of 300, 333, 7 hits and 21 at-bats. Hale is set at the belt. Cayley a short lead at first. Fires away too far outside. Ball 1. Sherrill, a junior for Incarnate Word. Transfer from Rose State College. And native of Rome, that being Rome, Texas. Bounces this one to the third base dugout. Keep it at 1-2. Patrick Hale's got a fresh baseball, and he'll put that right foot on the mound. Now comes set, brings it to the belt after checking Cam Cayley at first base. Slide step, fires, fouled off again down the first base line and out of play. Battle ensuing between Sherrill and Hale. Sherrill will adjust those batting gloves, unstick the leather, and then put it back on with a Velcro. Dig back in, practice cut, and Hale's set of the belt, rearing and ready to go. Slide step again as he fires, and this one's popped up on the infield. Tariq Kemp calling for it. He'll move back, touches the outfield grass as he sees this one into the bottom of the glove. First out of the inning, as Dalton Beck, the designated hitter, is going to dig back in. Junior's 1 for 3 with a 2-run home run that he put on the board in the first inning. Second on the team with 5 home runs, rather third, as there's a tie for first between Cayley and the catcher in Gregson with 6, and then small step below is Dalton Beck and Ryan Scott, who have each got 5. Outside fastball, strike 1. Rather breaking ball, took something off of it, did Hale. Puts himself on top. Leans over his left shoulder, checks Cayley at first, now set at the belt. Green undershirt all the way down to the glove, long sleeves. Pitches this one. The fly ball towards deep left field. Bergman on his horse towards the wall in the corner. He makes the play and launches the ball back in. Running out of space, Caleb Bergman chased it down. He'll have a few words with the Baylor relievers in the bullpen. Waves his arm as if to say, I don't know. He even shocked himself with the amount of ground he covered there to retire the second out of the inning.
Yeah, that's a great way to respond after missing that one last inning, and he charges all the way back to the corner, does a nice job of looking before getting to that area, so he takes a look at where he's running and then back up, relocates that ball, and calmly brings it down.
Ryan Scott digs in. Fastball from Hale misses on the inside corner. It's 1-0. Scott's 0 for 2. Walked. That was the last base runner that Incarnate Word would have for another 12 batters. Rather, 11 batters. Pitch on the way. Misses outside. Ball 2. So through those rocky 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings for Incarnate Word, Marriott was dealing. Then Ryan Scott came back in the 6th inning, and he's the one who hit that ball to Caleb Bergman that was an error, and then he later scored the run that put this one out of run rule reach as it's just a 9-run lead for the Bears. 90 miles an hour on the heater from Hale, but he spikes it up to the plate a couple of feet in front of the catcher Buchanan. It's a 3-0 count towards Ryan Scott. 3-step lead at first for Cam Cayley. Hale brings the ball towards the chest and now fires away. This one too high, and Ryan Scott's got a walk. A couple of free passes allowed from Patrick Hale, an uncharacteristic situation as through 15 innings coming into this inning, he'd only walked 7 batters. Now walked a couple of them in this frame as James Leverton exits the Baylor bench and dugout, and going to talk things over with Patrick Hale as I'm sure the Bears beginning to warm up in the bullpen. We can clear vantage point of that Incarnate Word bullpen, but Metal Grandstand sits right in front of the Baylor bullpen as if they're trying to be deceptive with what they're doing back there. Tony DeJesus, 5-hitter in the lineup, who's 0 for 3, is due up next. Reached on an error on Tariq Kemp in the last inning as now Leverton jogs off. Maybe going over strategy, but it was a good at-bat last inning in favor of, what should have been in favor of Patrick Hale, as it was a fairly routine play for Kemp that just slid under the glove.
Yeah, and tough for Hale. I mean, throwing strikes, I mentioned earlier, not something he's really struggled with. This is the first time in an outing this year that he's walked over 1 batter, so going to have to right the ship. He'll do so with 2 outs here, so has the luxury of just having to focus on the batter.
DeJesus digs in all the way back in the box. First pitch from Patrick Hale bounces up to the plate. It's 1-0. After a 4-pitch walk to Ryan Scott, now searching for the strike zone as he's missed on 5 in a row. The 286 hitter digs back in. 89 mile an hour with the heater, misses outside, 2-0. Hale looking towards the Baylor dugout, almost as if he's searching for answers. Now goes down to the dirt, wipes his right hand on that rubber. Now he toes it after wiping off the hand. Now touches baseball, fires away, gets a swing and miss as DeJesus swinging for the Stars comes up empty. It's 2-1.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was trying to blast that one out towards left center field. Luckily for Hale, it's a perfectly located pitch down and away in the zone, so he swings right over it.
Patrick Hale set at the belt, checks second, fires away. This one ripped to left field. He got all of this one. Bergman retreats at the warning track wall, looks up, it's gone. Tony DeJesus makes it a ball game and shaves the Baylor lead with a 3-run shot over the fence as Bergman could do nothing but look. Patrick Hale put it right in the zone, and before DeJesus even touches home plate, Mitch Thompson is out of the dugout, motions to the bullpen as there's a pitching change on the Brazos. We'll take a quick break, but Incarnate Word shaving the lead to 13-7. They've scored 4 in the past 2 innings. And the Bears going to go to the pen. This is Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com. Click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Well, following the 3-run home run, Baylor's going to go to the bullpen and call on right-handed reliever Andrew Petrowski. Line closes for Patrick Hale as he went 1 2/3, gave up a couple of hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned. Walked 2 and struck out 2, but everyone that he led on base with, or rather with an error, scored a run in the 6th, and then everyone he led on base this inning with walks, both 2 of them, played it on that 3-run shot by Tony DeJesus.
Yeah, and it was one that Hale just kind of let get too high up in the zone. The pitch right before that, he got a big swing and miss off DeJesus on one that was low and away, perfectly placed, away from the barrel of the bat of DeJesus, and then the next one closer to the middle of the plate, maybe middle in and a bit more higher in the zone. So he was able to turn on that one right in the sweet spot of his bat, drills it over the left field wall. A 3-run bomb. You mentioned earlier the chance of a run rule. Well, Incarnate Word has scored 5 unanswered. Baylor hasn't scored since their 4 runs scored in the bottom of the 4th inning. So the tides have clearly shifted. I think, Baylor, you get the final out in this inning, you likely go on to win this ball game with 2 more innings to go, but you want to be able to continue this momentum as the weekend progresses, so you don't want to take a step back in the second half of this ball game.
Sam Tormes is going to be the batter, pinch hit for the starting right fielder Rob Liddington in the 6th. First pitch from Petrowski working from the windup. Tormes thought about swinging, he laid off. It's going to be 1-0. 7-mile-an-hour wind gust blowing to dead center field. Part of the reason for 4 home runs tonight is Tormes comes up swinging, lines this one to Bergman. He'll see it into the glove and retire the side a couple feet in front of the warning track. Well, Incarnate Word put up 3 runs on 1 hit. That was a 3-run shot, led the bottom of the 3rd. Baylor looking for action. It's 13-7 on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Top of the 7th inning, or rather bottom of the 7th inning at Baylor Ballpark. It's the top of the 7th inning, a couple of feet away from the ballpark as at Getterman Stadium, Texas Tech currently up 4-3 in the top of the 7th inning over Baylor softball. Softball team looking for a get-right series, but have yet to find the magic over there. Baylor looking to plate a couple more runs. They've done their job. Or rather, did their job in innings 1, 2, and 4 with 4 spots in all 3 of those innings. And since then, a couple of zeros on the board in the 5th and 6th. 1 hit in those past couple of innings. As the Bears looking to extend it, and like you said earlier, Joe, just add a little bit more momentum as they push forward. Luke Smith back out there on the bump for Incarnate Word as he tosses a nasty curveball at 70 miles an hour, but it just toys way too far out of the strike zone. It's 1-0 on Ty Johnson. He'll rip this one into the right field grass. A base hit for Johnson. And Johnson starts off the 7th inning with a single. Defensive substitution for Incarnate Word. Sherrill's still out there playing shortstop. Manager coming out of the dugout for UIW as there's a pitching change. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the rest of this bottom of the 7th on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
After the leadoff single for Ty Johnson, UIW goes to the bullpen and bring in a right-handed reliever in Braden Berry. Another arm that hasn't seen a whole lot of action this year. 3 2/3 innings pitched for Berry. Take a look at Luke Smith, another guy who he threw 2 1/3, gave up 4 hits, and is responsible for Johnson at first, but hasn't given up a run. And coming into the ballgame, he had pitched just 1 2/3 innings and given up 7 runs. So a get-right game for him, and UIW hoping the same for Braden Berry, although the Bears looking to tag on. They've got Johnson at first, Wesley Jordan, 3-hitter, digging in. Single for Johnson, his 3rd hit of the ballgame. Pitch on the way, takes this one outside for ball 1. Jordan's 1 for 3, a walk, a single, and a run scored. Rather, 2 runs scored in the first and second. 1-0 pitch will have to wait as they throw it towards first base, and it actually plucks Johnson on the lower back. He's kind of holding his back after the pickoff towards first just drilled him. Missed the glove of the first baseman, Scott, and slapped the back of Johnson. Grant Randall, by the way, not out there at shortstop anymore. The pinch hitter that came in for him being Sherrill. It's playing shortstop right now. 1-0 the count to Wesley Jordan. Digs in, right on right, high and outside, ball 2.
Yeah, Luke Smith really a positive in this game for Incarnate Word. If you're going to take any positives from this game, definitely his 2 1/3 scoreless innings. Just gave up 4 hits, his best appearance of the season by far.
2-0 pitch, outside corner, strike number 1. 2-1 the count to Wesley Jordan, hitting .318 on the year. 3 home runs, a 3-way tie for first place on the team as Enzo Apodaca hit his 3rd earlier in this ball game, and then Harrison Cayley, who's not playing today, also with 3. Next pitch going to have to wait as Berry fires over to first again. It does find the glove of the first baseman, Scott, but Johnson slides back in head first and safely. Takes an even bigger lead now this time. Berry set at the belt. Doesn't even check first, but fires home. Jordan too early on the 81-mile-an-hour changeup, fouls it into the backstop. It's 2-2. Jordan hasn't reached base since the 2nd inning, in which he got his single. Flew out in the 3rd and 4th, and then you can see the tone this game has taken. 4 at-bats in the first 4 innings, and then the next one coming in the 7th as he flies this one deep down the right field line. Moving back all the way towards the warning track is Tormes, but he makes the play. A couple of steps away from the wall to retire Jordan as the first out of the inning. Ball carried a lot further than I initially thought off the bat.
Absolutely. There's got to be some wind up there that we're not seeing because the flag in center field pretty much motionless, and that one continued to go back. You saw Tormes look to his dugout, kind of go palms up, saying, I couldn't track that ball for that long, but luckily for him, he was able to stay composed and bring it down.
Japlansky going to take his first at-bat from the left-handed batter's box today. He's 1 for 2 with a hit by pitch, a single, and a walk. Also grounded out. He's ahead 1-0 in this at-bat. Scored a run, a couple of runs batted in. Base hit here would give him more hits than strikeouts this season. Johnson goes, fires to second, throws on time, lays down the tag to the shortstop, Sherrill, and Johnson is out trying to snag second. Wasn't the best throw by the catcher in Gregson, but a nice recovery by the shortstop, Sherrill, to reach over his right shoulder and slap down the tag on Johnson as he slid in. So while the count is 2-0 to Toplansky, there are now 2 outs in the inning, and the line is closed on Luke Smith. Pitch on the way. It misses, and Hunter Toplansky way ahead, 3-0. So I'll ask you, Joe, 3-0, is Toplansky got the green light?
Why not? 13-7 game. But he probably doesn't.
Pitch looked like he had as he took a pretty good step at the plate. But he watched it hit the mid. It's 3-1. Barry sets, fires, fly ball to deep left field by Toplansky. This one's got carry, but it's going to die on the warning track as Calvrisi settles under it and makes the play to retire the side. Another unorthodox 1-2-3 inning as we head to the 8th. Bears still on top, 13-3. This is Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Incarnate Word looking to propel and, it would be a crazy comeback at this point. They're down 13-7 heading into this top of the 8th inning, but they've plated 5 unanswered runs. Baylor plated 13 unanswered runs after the Cardinals popped 2 on the board in the first. And then it's just been death by inches, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and then a 3 spot in the top of the 7th as Incarnate Word staring down just a 6-run lead after being down by 11 at one point. First pitch to the 7-hitter Gregson, popped up on the infield. Altman settles under it. He'll make the play for the first out of the inning. 92-mile-an-hour fastball by Andrew Petrowski, and Gregson swinging for the Stars. Probably touched him, but didn't leave the infield. They'll shut down the first out of the inning, and Daniel Calabrese is going to dig in for Incarnate Word. 1 for 3 with a single in the 5th inning. Takes a big cut at this one and misses. Nice pitch by Petrowski, took something off of it. Changeup looking a lot like the fastball. Gets the junior left fielder swing on top of it. He now swings and misses at another pitch that was just not up to that 92-mile-an-hour fastball, instead down at 85. Same arm angle, same slot. It's a swing and a miss, 0-2. Do it again. This one misses high, though. Went fastball.
Yeah, had to expect the fastball there. 93 goes down low, gets the first 2 less than fastball pitches, then upstairs with the high cheese.
Fire, swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt. That's out number 2. 10th strikeout of the day for the green and gold. Petrowski's got his first of the night. As with 2 outs, Ryder Hernandez digs in, and the Bears search for their first 1-2-3 inning since the 4th. Innings 2, 3, and 4 were all 3 up, 3 down. Part of an 11 up, 11 down stretch. Now Baylor looking to start another one. Pitch to Hernandez, inside corner, strike 1. Petrowski, if he gets these 3 outs and he keeps the pitch count low, only at 8 right now as he's thrown 1 strike to Hernandez. Next pitch misses outside, makes it 9 pitches. Keep that low. Maybe he goes out and fires that ninth inning as well. Keep most of the bullpen fresh, only working through Marriott, Hale, and Petrowski. Righty deals, pitch is fouled straight back into the netting. 1-2. Been a tough day at the plate for Ryder Hernandez as he's been a strikeout victim in all three of his plate appearances. Second, fifth, and sixth inning. Awaiting the golden sombrero, the pitch misses high. Petrowski climbing the ladder and hitting 95 on the gun. Evens up the count at 2-2. From the windup, Petrowski nodding his head emphatically. The pitch bounced to third, up with it to Plansky, deep in the hole, fires across the diamond. Posey reaches out and collects the baseball to retire the side. We'll head to the bottom of the eighth. Baylor looking to tag on before closing this one out. This is Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Baylor's got 5, 6, and 7 due up in the order here in the bottom of the eighth inning at Baylor Ballpark. This is Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio. Thanks for tuning in. Bears have plated 13 runs, and they lead this one 13-7. Daniel Altman going to set the tone for this eighth inning. Searching for his first hit, but he does have 2 runs scored, a couple of walks, and a hit by pitch today, so he's reached in 3 of his 4 plate appearances. Doing it the unconventional way, but having a good time doing it. Digs in from the left-handed box, does Altman. Senior going to face Braden Berry. Berry working from a sidearm slot, fires it away and misses low, 1-0. More balls than strikes tossed by Berry, the right-handed reliever. 6-5 at this point. Fires this one, misses the zone again, too far inside this time though, and it's 2-2. Daniel Altman hit his first home run of the collegiate career at Baylor Ballpark last weekend. Takes this one too far inside, ball number 3. So Altman is staring down 4 free passes today, that being 3 walks and a hit by pitch if this next pitch misses. Taking all the way, pitch misses low and inside, and Daniel Altman has the 3rd walk of the ball game. Enzo Apodaca did that in the midweek and reached base 4 times in that game, and Altman has now reached base 4 times in this game with 3 walks, and a hit by pitch.
Yeah, that on-base percentage continuing to skyrocket for Daniel Altman. He's just been seeing it well, whether it's been putting the bat to the ball or being able to decipher balls and strikes. He's done the latter really well today.
First start in a couple of weeks for Cole Posey as he digs back in. Baylor first baseman awaits the pitch, misses low, ball 1. Grand slam to left field for Posey. One heck of a way to say welcome back. He walked in the 4th and fly out in a line out, and the other 2 at-bats for him. Short lead at first for Altman. Pitch on the way to Posey, taking it all the way, just watches it into the mitt. First strike of the inning for Barry as he threw 5 straight balls before finding the strike zone with the 87-mile-an-hour cutter. Barry pins the ball against his belt, checks the plate, and fires away. Taken inside for a strike. Posey brought the bat above his head as if to sigh in relief, then kind of slams it down as he realizes that one was indeed in the strike zone. Guy who doesn't crowd the plate a whole lot was pushed off of it. Caught reaching, but watches this one. It's 2-2. Leaned all the way over home plate with the bat over his head. Managed to hold up, and the count evens. Barry is set. Didn't even check first. Now deals. Posey reaches out. Lines this one to short. Backhand snag in the air by the shortstop, Sherrill. Relay throw to first, but Altman's back there in time. Tough play by Sherrill as he just takes 3 or 4 steps to his right. Slaps down the backhand and makes the play in midair before firing to first to try and double off Altman. Unable to do so, as just one is retired. Second line out to Sherrill for Posey today. Gives another opportunity to Braden Buchanan, who singled and then was victim of a fielder's choice in his first at-bat, that being in the 6th inning. Takes strike 1. Now nestles back in. The 0-1 bounced towards third. Sliding in up with it there is Hernandez. Fires to second for the force. Relay to first. Scooped up there, but not in time. Buchanan showing off his wheels, but a nice play at third by Hernandez, who almost spun around on his backside at third base to slide and make the play. Just picks it up and still pinned down to the floor, fires it to second base, and a nice play there to force out Daniel Altman.
Yeah, really sharp throw from a knee, sidearm sling there from Ryder Hernandez. Plays a really great third base and highly recruited in that position out of high school, and we saw just why right there.
Bat hasn't been there for Hernandez, but the glove certainly has today. As Tariq Kemp digs in, watches one miss high and away, ball 1. Kemp 1 for 4, singled in the third and later scored, and then fielder's choice ground out in the 4th inning that plated a run. Short lead at first for Buchanan. Pitch on the way to Kemp. Bounces around, watches this one, and then walks all the way to the right-handed batter's box before backpedaling into his batting stance. Takes a couple practice swings and brings the bat above his left ear. High leg kick pitch on the way, misses near the eyes of Tariq Kemp, who stands shorter than 6 foot. And the count is 3-0 for the second time this inning on a Baylor batter. Check first, come set, fire away. Outside corner, strike 1. Leaning over his left knee is the right-handed pitcher, Barry. He's set at the chest. Runner fakes a steal. Pitch misses outside. Tariq Kemp walks, and Buchanan will get a free pass towards second base. Faked that steal as if he was going to go, and had the catcher, Gregson, fooled like no other, and then gets the base anyway.
Yeah, Braden Berry continues to improve on that ERA, though. It was above 7.5 entering this game. Had 3 appearances, allowed 3 earned runs in his first appearance, and has really settled down since then, has gone over 2 innings, has allowed just 2 hits, 1 walk, and now in this one, struggling with the walks, but still trying to keep runs off the board.
First pitch to Caleb Bergman, the 9-hitter for the Bears, who's 3 for 4 with 3 singles, 2 runs, a run batted in, and a stolen base. He digs in with runners on first and second and 2 outs. 0-1 count, fires away. Bergman grounds this one to short, and he hit it hard, rather to second base. Scooped up there, fired sidearm, and got him by a step. Caleb Bergman nearly ran out an infield single. That would be his 4th of the day. Instead, the inning is retired, and we head to the 9th inning with the Bears clinging to a 6-run lead and looking to close it out with 3 more outs to go. Bears going to head to the bullpen, new arm, and 3 outs to play when we come back. This is Baylor Baseball from Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
New reliever for Baylor is Kobe Andrade as he steps on. The left-handed pitcher going to come in and search for 3 outs. And he's got the toughest 3 outs in the lineup. As Andrew Petrowski, he went 1 1/3, faced just 4 batters, struck out 1, didn't give up a hit, walk, or nada, as he bridged the gap brilliantly between Patrick Hale and Kobe Andrade, who looks for the second scoreless outing of the game. As Petrowski was able to do it, Hale gave up 4. Marriott gave up 3, but Mason Marriott still in line for the win if Kobe Andrade were to close this one out.
And a familiar situation for him, and you mentioned the scoreless outings, needing one more here from Kobe Andrade. Well, he's done that in each of his last 4 times out on the mound, an inning in 2/3 against Texas Tech, 3 strong innings against Texas, 1 1/3 against UTSA, 1 2/3 against Cincinnati. In that span, he gave up just 3 hits and 4 total base runners.
Does have a save on the year, 0-2 record, but a 3.52 ERA. Kobe Andrade's been one of those brilliant stories that you look for this year. A guy who really struggled last year and was even benched by the end of the season because his pitching and hitting was just not helping the team. Came back this year and he's been a very, very good reliever as he spikes the first pitch in the right-handed batter's box. He's facing his former teammate, Cameron Cayley, as these guys were weekend starters on opening weekend last year, and now in different roles for their respective ball clubs as Cayley takes a big swing and misses at the fastball at 90 miles an hour, evens up the count at 1-1. Andrade working from the windup, pitch fouled straight back. Cayley saw it well with the handlebar mustache, turns away, and now he'll dig back in.
You know, I think that the same could be said for Ethan Calder, too, a guy who transitioned from an outfield spot into the bullpen.
Big swing by Cayley. This one foul territory down the right field line. Giving a chase is Apodaca. It's actually going to stay fair as he ranges over and makes the play. Wind playing games with Apodaca, but he tracks it down beautifully for the first out of the top of the 9th inning.
Yeah, it took his hat, too, in the process. I guess he just runs that fast, Foster, but he got over there in a hurry. Tough to get one down with him playing right field, and that's another one that Cam Cayley likely gets the barrel, too, but he just gets underneath it. You can tell he's been seeing the ball really well.
A lot of good hits today, or rather hard contact for Cayley, whose batting average sits at .349 after a couple of hits today. First pitch to the shortstop, Weldon Sherrill, missed inside, 1-0. Awaiting the second pitch, hits this one hard under the glove of the diving Toplansky. Rolls into left field, Bergman will relay it in. 1-out single for Weldon Sherrill. He pinch hit in the 7th inning, popped out to Tariq Kemp, and then found his first base hit today, 8th of the season, for the pinch hitter.
Yeah, you saw at the end of the last inning, Hunter Toplansky playing the first ground ball in the infield, not received by Tariq Kemp. Had another chance there, but it was just out past his outstretched arms, underneath his glove. He was in a good position to receive it, though. Nice hit by Sherrill.
Designated hitter Dalton Beck fouls off the first pitch down the left field line, 0-1. Beck is 1 for 4, so the Bears have done an excellent job of shutting him down since that 2-run home run with 1 out in the first inning. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. My goodness, swinging for the fences, but comes up empty. Fastball at 89 just ducked under the bat, or maybe the bat dunked under the ball as he was almost swinging up and down at that pitch. Clubbing the driver, he'll dig back in. 1-2, rather 0-2, swing and a miss. Looks foolish on the breaking ball. Searching for fastball all the way, and Andrade didn't give it to him. Second out of the inning, and the 11th strikeout for the Baylor pitching staff today. Every Baylor pitcher has racked up a strikeout. From Marriott to Hale to Petrowski to Andrade, there's one out in the way for a Baylor win. Semblance's first baseman Ryan Scott takes the first pitch at the knees, just a bit below the strike zone, 1-0. 0 for 2 with a couple of walks, couple of runs, is the first baseman. Came in hitting over 400, now settling in at 393. Big swing as he throws the bat towards the backstop. And Andrade forcing some of the craziest swings and misses you'll see all year.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, he was swinging for the fences at that one. The pitch is just going anywhere but the bats to Incarnate Word against Kobe Andrade. I'm not sure what they're seeing from him, but something's telling them to take big, violent hacks. Maybe it's that 13-7 deficit, but nonetheless, he's making these batters look silly.
Got to chip away at the 6-run lead. Can't get it with one swing. So as Scott digs back in, crowds the plate, and watches one find the inside corner, although he scurries off. It's 1-2, and the Bears one strike away from extending their winning streak to 4. Andrade stares in, pins the glove at the belt as he comes set, doesn't check first, and fires away. Bounces it up the middle, a base hit. The win will have to wait as Scott puts this one in center field, and runners go to first and second. Well, with the crowd standing on their feet and clapping, a little bit of a groan as everyone sits back in their seat, hoping they don't have to get too comfortable as Tony DeJesus settles into the batter's box. Right-handed bats 1 for 4 with a 3-run home run to left field in the 7th inning, that being his last plate appearance. Pitch from Andrade, bounce towards third. Toplansky's up with it at the normal shortstop position. Fires to first. Posey reaches and makes the play to end the ball game. Hats off to Cole Posey, who played a perfect day at first, as the Bears find their 4th win in a row, improve their record to 12-17 as they win this one by a score of 13-7 at Baylor Ballpark. 2 hours and 52 minutes as these past couple of innings just kind of flew by. We were sitting at 2.5 hours at the beginning of that 7th inning, but the Bears finding a way to get out of it and keep rolling forward. Well, Joe, obviously you get this win, and you hope to build off of it, but maybe not the conclusion, especially with the bats that you were looking for.
Absolutely. I mean, I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. I think Mitch Thompson likely, he's going to be talking about that post-game in just a few minutes when you make your way down there. They have 13 runs in the first 4 innings, and then they get blanked in the next 4 frames after that. You get outscored by 5 in the second half of the game. Not trying to discredit the win. This is an incredible win for this Baylor team to continue this win streak up to 4 games. And how about that performance from the offense in the first 4 frames? You got to look at that positive and take that into tomorrow. Of course, maybe it hurts to maybe not build some momentum offensively into tomorrow. It is a new day, and they showed that they could hit against this Incarnate Word staff. They've hit against a lot of their relievers, and for Incarnate Word, you got to take away one big positive in this loss, which was their performance by Luke Smith. He entered the game at an ERA of above 7.5, had only an inning and 2/3 innings pitched where he had allowed 7 earned runs, and so he goes 2 1/3 of an inning today, gives up 4 hits, no runs, and really righted the ship for this Incarnate Word team. So hopefully, for them, they're able to channel that and bring some of that momentum into tomorrow for them. And for Baylor, hopefully they're able to figure some things out offensively and carry their strong offensive play from the first half of this game into tomorrow. And you got another good pitcher on the mound, too, so that's going to be great with Colin McKinney out there and another chance to get him a win on this season. So there's a lot to play for, and despite it being a non-conference weekend, the Bears are really playing for a lot, and so are the Cardinals on the other side.
Mason Marriott earns the win. He moves to 1-3. Josh Salinas, a top-tier Friday night starter, tagged with his first loss as he goes to 3-1. Again, final score from Baylor Ballpark is 13-7. Thanks for tuning in, and hope to hear from you tomorrow. We'll be back here pregame show starting 15 minutes before first pitch. That'll be at 1:45 tomorrow that you hear more Baylor baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.